Today on the Dr. Phil Housewives Get Real Tuesday.
Michelle, you can't play the game that way or you are going to be alone for the rest of your life. You're shaking your head like I don't get it. Are you kidding me, Gloria?
The way Gloria treated Dr. Phil today was uncalled for.
I'm about to cry. I hate this.
Can you please refrain from cussing at him, really?
Oh, shut the up.
I want to slap the taste out her mouth.
Then,
I want to talk to this father that got this girl pregnant.
it's man to man.
What the hell are you doing getting pregnant? Were you having unprotected sex?
Plus, be there for the first ultrasound.
That's heart motion.
And the biggest question,
Are you going to get married? This is going to be a changing day in your life.
Have a good show, everybody. Here we go.
It matters to you. That's what I want to talk about. Are we ready in the booth? Let's do it. Well, the work with the Dr. Phil Housewives just goes on. I want to focus on the women's choices in men and how I think that affects the rest of their lives. Now, I want you to think about the men in your life and how they affect you, because I promise you they do. Now, today, we're going to meet Rachel's boyfriend, Angel. I'm going to hear what he has to say about getting Rachel pregnant, because I got to tell you, I have a problem with that. I think it is irresponsible. Plus, I invited a very special guest who's been anxious to meet the women. Here's what you need to know so you can get caught up for today.
previously on the Dr. Phil Housewives.
My husband of 16 years finally admitted that he was having an affair.
That empty chair is for her husband. He is coming here today.
I hate you so much for what you've done to our family.
I believe you both need to be accountable for the 16 years where you didn't have sex. I think it takes two to tango.
It's always the one without a man giving the advice. It's like,
God, you know what?
tango.
You really, really are nasty.
I know, that's the truth.
I don't even understand what you're talking about.
Because you're so into yourself, you don't give it.
That's your
fact.
reality?
It's the truth.
It's not the facts.
Yes, it is.
You don't know the
Calm
facts
down.
about
You're gonna calm
my
down.
life.
You're gonna calm down. I will drop you like a bad habit.
That's classy.
Oh, how classy are you?
Do you think this boyfriend of yours is the one?
I moved in with him.
I know you moved in with he and his parents, apparently a real go-getter. You guys have no idea how much she has lied to y'all by omission.
I found out 2 weeks ago that I'm pregnant.
What? Wow. I would love to be married one day. It's absolutely a dream of mine. It's been about 1.5 years since I've gone on an actual date.
I just don't think I want to handle any more rejection.
My own father doesn't love me. How's anyone else?
Okay, do you know how excited I am to be here?
You are so cute!
You are living.
I've watched every minute of every tape of every day you spent with Philip, and I'm just going to have to tell you I'm addicted. I'm addicted. Like, I was just like, I got to meet these women. I have to. I feel like I know all of you so well, and I just want to say I'm very proud of you. I think you've all worked really, really hard. Are you just as happy and proud of yourselves?
Oh, yeah. My whole life has changed. I finally realized I want a husband. I want a family. Like, it clicked to me. I know what I want now.
You know, Philip's been on the air like 9 years, and I've seen a lot of women, especially a lot of people, get a lot of opportunity to do something like this with him. And man, a large number, 99%, really know when to grab on and just take in everything they can.
When I first came here, I'm looking at, I don't want to disrespect your husband, but
It's just us girls. Go ahead.
I'm like, who is this guy to tell me I need to change? There's nothing wrong with me. And then, honestly, opening up to him and him not being so judgmental has really, helped me become a better person. I stand up for myself, well, I always did, but now it's like...
Yes, you do stand up for yourself. Remember, I've been watching. Love it. Talk about Philip. Now, is he doing everything that you need to do, or is there something you need from him you haven't told him? Well, I just really don't want y'all to miss your opportunity with him one-on-one. And so really tell him what you need. Work with him.
I don't know what questions to ask him. I'm so lost. I don't know what to ask him.
Start right there. Tell him. Let him help you. He can do it.
Yeah.
Use him. Tell him you're lost. Will you do that?
Yeah.
Look what the cat did. Yeah, look what the cat drugged.
My ears are burning.
Have you been listening?
Some.
I don't know if you heard, because I'm sure you weren't back there listening.
We're
but
good. We're good.
I think we have an agreement, right?
Yeah.
That you're going to tell him. Girls, thank you very much for your time.
you.
And for the opportunity to meet you.
Nice meeting you.
All right. So what'd you think of Robin?
I loved her. She's so cute.
Yeah?
Yeah.
You said it made you think about being married.
I've been thinking about it all week. I want that part of my life. And I'm
So
like,
what are you willing to do to get that? I mean, that's the question,
no,
right?
you're right. Yeah.
You say you want to be married with kids, then I want you to be married with kids. I know, as sure as I'm sitting here, that what you're doing now will not generate that result in your life.
So how many people do I need to date a week, or what do I need to do?
You know how many you date and how long you do it? Until.
Yeah. Okay. And I just don't know how to do it.
She'll show you. She talked about this on tape.
Michelle changing her date 3 times? That's absurd.
Girl cancels on me 3 times. Do not let the door hit you in the ass. I'm gone.
I think Michelle's making excuses. Excuses are actually her wall of protection.
He kept like acting weird about the times, and he said that thing, and it pissed me off.
I could totally teach Michelle my philosophy when it comes to men. You have to go through a million to get that 1 in a million. So let loose, let her hair down, and climb over that wall with a short skirt. And just be ready, because when you're ready, I'm there for you, girl. Let's go out, let's party, let's get some free drinks on the men and some food.
You're hilarious.
Some free drinks and some food.
You're hilarious. That's how you gotta do it.
But you know what I like about what she said?
She's having fun.
That's exactly right. She just said, you know what? The journey itself can be fun as well as getting to the destination.
Well,
you feel rejected from the key man in your life.
Yeah.
Let me tell you something about your dad. The good news is it's not about you. That's about him. The bad news is it's not about you. And the reason that's bad news is since you didn't cause it, you can't fix it. But you have taken this on personally. You've said, I know the pain of rejection, particularly from a male, and I don't want to be in that situation again. You can't play the game that way, or you are going to be alone for the rest of your life.
I'm not going to do that, though. I'm not going to live my life like that.
You have to decide you're not going to do it and behave your
going to.
way out of it. You have the ability to give. You have the ability to commit. You have the ability to care. You have all of those things. Now, does that mean somebody's not going to break your heart? No. There are no guarantees. But you don't want to spend your life sitting on the sidelines.
No.
If you knew, Jennifer, if you knew back then what you know now, that he was going to cheat on you, that he was going to break your heart, that he was going to make a mockery of what you called a marriage, I'm guessing that because of the children, that this is a journey you would still embark on.
The only thing good that's come out of my marriage is my son. That's my life.
How big a deal is that?
That's huge. That's huge.
Would you go through this for that? To have
yeah,
that
I would go through any.
child?
Absolutely.
Of course you would. The difference is you should have thrown the flag on this marriage years ago.
Right.
I mean, after 2 or 3 years of no sex with your husband, instead you just kind of, rocked along. Weeks turned into months, months turned into years, and here you sit. Why did you tell Robin you're lost?
Coming up.
I don't feel like there's anything out there for me. What am I supposed to do? I'm just so scared. I'm so scared. I've never been so scared in my life.
Tomorrow on an all-new Dr. Phil.
I had a drug problem, but I've been clean for 4 months. I want my mom to trust me.
You're not worthy of trust. You're doing Xanax, cocaine, and marijuana. Other than that, you're clean.
The heartbreaking reason for one teen's drug use.
I just need to know what the truth is.
And another teen's secret life.
You want to tell your parents.
I'm sick of living a lie.
Teenage confessions.
The reason I brought you here is...
That's tomorrow. We now return to the Dr. Phil Housewives Get Real Tuesday.
Why did you tell Robin you're lost?
I feel like I'm wasting my opportunity with you because I don't know what questions to ask. I envy Michelle.
You envy me.
I envy your life
Why?
so much. You're independent. You've done a great job. You really have.
I think you always want what you don't have.
That is not true, what you just said.
What?
You always want what you don't have. You want what you have. You just want more, and that's okay.
That's true.
And what I'm saying to all of y'all is we don't know how much time we have left together. Don't you waste a minute of it. You're wasting time for you personally.
I agree, and I don't want to waste time. That's the point. I want to know what to ask you. I want to know, you know, my emotions are everywhere.
If you were in her situation where you didn't need one thing from that man, not a roof, not a paycheck, not child support, would you be gone? Are you staying because you believe that you're 50 and have no options?
Yes. Yes.
But for that,
Yes.
you would tell him he had his chance, hit
Kiss
the
my
road.
ass.
Then own that.
You're scared. It's scary.
That's what I mean about wasting time. Because I'm going to tell you what I see when I look at you. I see somebody that is, I don't know, spent how many years in a marriage?
16.
Settling for what you didn't want.
Yeah.
And I think you are so damn mad at yourself
I'm furious.
that you could absolutely scream. You're mad at him, but you look back and say, what in the hell was I thinking?
Oh, I'm mad at myself.
I settled for what I didn't want.
Yeah.
And what makes it even worse is I'm doing it again because I'm scared to death if I even say it out loud, then I'm alone.
Yep.
I'm alone because he ain't much, but he's all I got.
Yeah.
Now, how come I know that and you're not saying it?
Because it's, okay, I don't want to be alone. I really don't. And I see what you're going through at 30. And I'm 50 and I'm out of shape. I don't have a career. I don't have a bank account. I don't have anything. And if I leave, I'm homeless, okay? I don't have many options.
Jennifer's trapped because she want to be trapped. If you're unhappy, pack your up and go. I understand you don't want to be homeless, but you have family. You have us, friends.
If I don't have to deal with it, then I can just keep going.
That's what you did, right? How many years were you married?
16.
How long's it been since he came to you and wanted to have sex with you before you caught him cheating?
We stopped having sex the day I learned I was pregnant. 6 days after we were married.
15 years
Yeah.
you walked around that house feeling rejected.
I thought that I was just so unattractive. I don't feel like there's anything out there for me. What am I supposed to do? I don't have any money. I don't have a place to go. I have kids I'm raising. You bet you're grateful he's still there. Well, I got these kids. Yes.
How's he treating you?
Better than he's ever treated me.
How's he treating you?
But that's not saying a lot, is it?
No?
No, he's treating
No,
me.
I mean, this is not about set your standards really low, shoot at the curb, and everything else is gravy. Are you kidding me?
Where's your
What
ring
is
at?
that? It's better than he wouldn't touch you for 15 years? No. Does that mean he pats you on the back when you go by in the hall? What does it mean he's treating you better than he ever has?
That's not even what I care about anymore.
You turn your back on yourself, but there are limits.
Yeah.
Because there's limits to just how much of this charade you're willing to play.
It's hard for me to constantly say I love you and he'll call me these cutesy little names now, and I just want to tell him to shove it. Yeah.
Why?
It just seems so phony, you know? It's like, you don't really feel that way about me. I haven't changed. I'm so scared. I've never been so scared in my life.
Then that's where you begin. You look at me and you say, Dr. Phil, I am so scared, I don't even want to say out loud what my reality is. Do you see anybody here running away?
No, but these people, oh my God, I know that they've all bonded. They're having a great time together, and I don't feel part of it because I don't feel happy.
I tried to bond with you, but I'm gonna be
sweetie,
honest,
no, you are great.
I just want to put that, I have tried to bond with you, but
Yeah.
you're very close.
Yeah,
You
I
won't
am.
allow anyone to get to you. So I have reached out to you.
Oh, you have, and you've been wonderful. And it's not you, it's me again. I mean, I'm just so miserable. And these people are getting better, and I don't want to bring them down.
In your world, right now, is there any other time, any other place you go where you have this much focus and this much offer for help?
No. No.
Then isn't this exactly the place to be talking about this? Because we're here together, I don't believe anybody can get what they need if everybody else doesn't get what they need.
Dr. Phil, I would like you to tell me what you think I'm not putting on the table.
Coming up.
Gloria, I'm playing you at your own game.
I am not playing a game here.
I'm not interested in this exchange.
I'm not Gandhi. I'm not Jesus Christ. I'm not Mother Teresa. I don't have complete control. I don't have this problem in my real life.
The last time you saw Alexandra.
Have you remained 100% drug-free during this pregnancy?
I've been drug-free.
Her world was unraveling.
Can you bring somebody in here to escort my mom out?
The baby was born addicted to drugs.
Now,
You're broke, you're homeless, you've lost your children, and even Tony's gone. What the hell happened?
coming next week. We now return to the Dr. Phil Housewives Get Real Tuesday.
Dr. Phil, I would like you to tell me what you think I'm not putting on the table.
I have some ideas about that, but I would rather you tell me than me tell you. What I know is that you seem to go to great lengths to keep the focus off of what you need.
I think it's because the dynamics with some of the women in here became very unsafe for me. And I did not feel
What's
comfortable.
your ownership in that?
I own some of it. I certainly don't own all of it.
Of course you don't, but there are no victims. I mean, everybody
I'm not a
has...
victim. I'm just telling you, it didn't feel safe.
Everybody has a role.
I got you. I'm very sensitive, and if I'm going to put my stuff on the table, what it felt like to be married for 14 years, and how lonely and scared I was leaving, and how a lot of men have died in my life. I didn't feel comfortable laying all that on the table when everything I said, there was a really negative reaction to. I didn't feel like I would get the support.
But Gloria, I didn't say, oh, Gloria, I'm putting my foot. I was like, oh my God, that's sad. Every time when we gave you a negative reaction is because your comments were negative.
I honestly don't believe that I am 100% responsible for eliciting some of the reactions.
Okay, I want to play a piece of tape.
I was stretching. I'd put my legs up on the counter because it's hip height. Kim walked in the room and insulted me for no reason.
Why do you put your feet on the counter? That's gross.
And I thought, well, if we're going to talk about the crimes we're committing in our lives, mine's pretty benign.
Why don't you raise your kids properly, Kim? That's gross.
I put my feet on the counter, but you don't raise your kids. I think she's just a very envious person.
See, it's like, how could I possibly put my stuff on the table when I'm so misunderstood?
I just find
this is my
disturbed person.
But
You
this
stir
is
more
this is
drama
my
than
point.
you do put anything on the table.
Everything
I've been
here.
trying with you, Alana. I don't know why you just
Okay, everybody
resist
stop.
and attack me.
I didn't attack you. I just said you put up more drama.
You just.
There's
Try not using the
She's
you.
bipolar.
Okay,
Just
stop.
diagnose her.
This is exactly what I'm talking about. Some way or another, we always talk about in-the-moment conflict and drama instead of what really is important to you.
Did you hear what both these women just said about me?
Yeah, and I
Do you think it feels safe to me to put my feelings on the floor when I was just called bipolar, loves the drama, disturbed, envious?
But we all get...
We called everybody something in this
insulted
room.
everybody in this room.
I think this is a comfort zone, not just for you, but for the whole group. Let's just snipe back and forth. And now, come on. Well, now, you're shaking your head like I don't get it. Are you kidding me, Gloria? You're talking to this woman who comes in and takes a shot at you for putting your foot on the counter or something like that. And you go for the juggler
Yeah,
in response. Juggler is, you're talking about this. How about the way you raise your kids laying in bed and not taking
you
care
know
of them?
what?
Do you take any responsibility for just going for the most hurtful juggler you can if somebody pushes on you?
Rarely. I go below the belt rarely.
Oh.
Yeah.
We should play the tapes.
Yeah, you need to see yourself.
Okay, so you know what? I believe that what they're perceiving as going below the jugular is sometimes when I point out my perception about them or just give my insight.
Answer this honestly. When you say to her, okay, you want to criticize where I'm putting my foot, I'm going to tell you what a no good, rotten, irresponsible mother you are. What response do you predict when you say that?
A gnarly negative one. What do you think? I don't think she's going to say, thanks for saying that, Gloria. Let's work this out.
Okay, so you do then know and acknowledge that you are taking it over the cliff when you say that.
It will, but I don't, that was a moment, and I don't do that all the time. I had been fed up, and she walked in, I was doing my thing, I had made coffee for everybody, and has to shoot a negative comment at me.
It wasn't negative.
Really?
Like, it wasn't.
Gross. Why is your feet on the counter?
You have no home training. Who puts their feet on the counter that people eat off of?
Yeah, it wasn't just me. I mean, it was discussed by other women. I was just the one that brought it up.
But my point is, you say the dynamic here has been very combative with some of the people here. And I ask you, how much of that do you take responsibility for?
I think some people found their voice when Alana was very judgmental. Other people jumped in, and it became like a gang mentality.
So you think I influence the way they think about you? No.
No, that's not what I said. That's not what I said.
Gloria, I'm playing you at your own game. You don't like it.
I'm not playing a game
It's
here.
a game you're playing, and guess what? I figured it out, so I'm playing the same game you play with me.
It's exhausting.
Okay, but wait a minute.
It's exhausting.
See, this is my point. I'm not interested in this exchange.
Nor am I.
I'm not interested in it, but you engage in it. You engage in it every time. And
That's why I shut up, Dr. Phil, so I don't have to engage in it.
It's not
Because
about
no, I don't have complete control. I'm not Gandhi. I'm not Jesus Christ. I'm not Mother Teresa. I don't have complete control. And when she said about me, it pisses me off.
You say
so if I just shut up, then they don't say about me. I don't have this problem in my real life.
So you're two people then? So you're this person here, and then you're somebody else when you leave?
No, if I leave and I'm in a room full
Okay,
of
the world is
hostile...
not like that, though. The world is
God,
not
I
like...
love it when you tell me what the world's about, Rachel.
Because, hello,
I love
wake
it.
up.
I love it.
Wake
Genius.
up. The world is not all like pillows
Guess
and
what?
flowers and rainbows.
When you're 45 years old and you've made your life and you make your own decisions
I have made
and you
my
become
life now.
successful,
Just because I'm not
you
45,
get to choose
just
who
because
is
I'm not 50
around
years
you.
old or however old you are, doesn't
I
mean I
have
have to live my life.
I have created a life. You know what? Life is what you created, Rachel.
Exactly. So create this. That's what I'm saying to you.
Okay, that was insightful.
Do you believe that you are condescending to her?
Yes, I do.
Okay, and what do you expect the result of that to be?
More argument. I'm not stupid.
But then why do you do it? What's the point? What do you gain from it?
Nothing,
Again, be
because I
selfish.
get in the
Look,
moment and I get reactive.
People don't do things in a pattern if they don't get a payoff for it. Listen to what I said. You don't do things in a pattern if you don't get a payoff for it. What is your payoff?
Coming up.
I'm about to cry. I hate this.
Can you please refrain from cussing at him? Really, this is
shut the up.
We now return to the Dr. Phil Housewives Get Real Tuesday.
Do you believe that you are condescending to her?
Yes, I do.
Okay, and what do you expect the result of that to be?
More argument. I'm not stupid.
But then why do you do it? What is your payoff?
What's my payoff right now? There isn't one. I'm about to cry. I hate this.
That's not true. You wouldn't do it.
I hate this.
You wouldn't say things to her to level her. You wouldn't say things to her to condescend her if you weren't getting a payoff for it. Is it?
No. There's
What's the
no payoff. There is no, what's the payoff? I'm sitting here feeling miserable. What's the payoff?
Well,
you tell me.
Okay.
Can you please refrain from cussing at him? Really, this is a distinct. Because you're pissing me off. You don't talk to people like that.
I am not disrespecting Dr. Phil.
He doesn't deserve it, and that's really pissing me off. The way Gloria treated Dr. Phil today was uncalled for. You have the kindest man I've ever met treat you with nothing but dignity and respect, and then you turn and cuss at him? I mean, wow. I want to slap the taste out of her mouth.
You asked me to tell you what's the payoff. Number one, we're not talking about what really matters to you. Number two,
what really matters to me?
Maybe it's a feeling of power that you get from venting.
No. I feel actually embarrassed, humiliated, weak.
Look, Gloria, you don't go stick your hand in a blender except once.
Dr. Phil,
because if it hurts, you don't do it.
From it. I don't like the behavior in myself. I don't like these women. I don't trust these women, some of these women, not all of these women. And I'm uncomfortable around them. I can't talk about the things that really, really hurt me. It's not safe.
You choose to condescend to her because she is young and naive in your view.
Because she's not making any sense to me.
I'm not, it doesn't matter. You don't listen anyways. It's like talking to a brick wall. Like
right. So therefore, she has no value.
I didn't say she doesn't have any value.
You didn't let me finish the sentence. She has no value in talking to you about how the world works. I mean, that's the tone that I get, is don't tell me. I've been out there in the world. I'm a single mother fighting my way through, doing the battles, and you're going to tell me about life? Shut up.
That's absolutely 100% what I think.
Again, what do you expect her energy for you to be?
Okay, well, I'm so sorry. I'm not going to be able to contribute to a few people here, so therefore the whole project's going to go down the drain.
Oh, please. Please.
No,
Please.
Can we gain from everybody we meet in life? Absolutely. I've learned from Rachel, well, kind of what not to do. I'm not going to trust the women that I don't trust here. It's not going to change. I'm just done.
Did it ever occur to you that the common denominator to every one of these conflicts is you?
I'm not saying I'm a victim here. I'm not a victim here. I'm accountable.
I don't want you to give your power away and check your agenda off because of a dynamic you've created with some of these people in this room.
I'm not.
I was afraid that Dr. Phil wasn't going to ever address Gloria about her craziness, and he did today, and I feel much better, but she doesn't listen. I think that you're not balanced. You need to balance and be calm. You want to talk to everybody about their spirituality and all that stuff. You have the most negative energy I've ever seen in somebody.
Do you guys resent that I'm having a conversation with Dr. Phil?
Coming up.
Angel's here. I want us to take just a minute to talk to this father that got this girl pregnant.
We now return to the Dr. Phil Housewives Get Real Tuesday.
I see how tough it is. You know, you're basically a single mother right now. You're a single mother right now, and you're getting ready to be.
No, I'm not.
Why? Because you're going to get married?
In the future, yeah.
To a kid living with his parents.
We're not living there anymore. We're in the process of moving.
Where are you
out.
living now?
Well, yes, we are living there.
So what you said isn't true. You are living there.
No, we are. Yes, we are. But I'm moving forward. Like, I know it's going to be hard. But I'm...
Well, he's here, you know, Angel's here. I want us to take just a minute to talk to this father that got this girl pregnant. How you doing?
Good, how are you, sir?
I'm all right. Dr. Phil.
Angela.
Have a seat.
Hey, baby. I was like gearing up, like, okay, what's going on today? You know, like, ooh, Angel. But actually, when he came out, I see a little young boy, defenseless, helpless.
Has she told you what my position was on her being pregnant?
Yeah,
you getting her pregnant?
Yeah, she's mentioned that, and...
What'd she mention?
That you I guess, don't approve of it, and that I should have been more responsible with my thinking. And
Yeah, because I'll just summarize it for you. I think it's a higher form of irresponsible insanity for somebody that has no career living with their parents to get somebody that has no career living with you with their parents to get pregnant. I mean, in this day and time with the birth control we have, the awarenesses and education that we have, what the hell are you doing getting pregnant?
we weren't trying to be irresponsible. You
just were. So you allowed him to have unprotected sex with you, knowing that you very likely could and would get pregnant.
Yeah, I think because I've always been responsible. Now I wasn't, because I taught like safe sex in college. I worked with Planned Parenthood, so I know all about birth control and all that. I was an advocate for them, so I know, and I wasn't, because I was okay if I became a mom.
Well, the cobbler's children have no shoes, I guess.
Well, I was okay if it happened, it happened. Like, so I was okay if I got pregnant, I got pregnant.
You were.
Yeah, I know right now it sucks and I make no money, but I know there's an end result out there, and that's why it's like, I'm not stuck there.
You're okay with getting pregnant? I mean, does it ever occur to you that you say, okay, let me get some financial stability, let me get some emotional stability, let me get a relationship where we've planned and we've gone through premarital counseling and we've gotten married and we've created a household, and then have a child instead of just getting knocked up? Come on.
That would have been a lot better.
I mean, what happened to common sense?
Now we are taking full responsibility for our actions. We don't want...
What does that mean? You're taking full responsibility. That's real nice if you say it real fast, but what does that mean?
I'm not saying I have the greatest job. I'm not saying that I make the biggest, paycheck, but I'm doing what I can at this very moment. That's what a man does, and I love her, and that's what I'm going to do.
Well,
I don't have
I can't tell you how refreshing it is to me that you have acknowledged this, that you're there with her, that you're stepping up and saying, you're not pregnant, we are pregnant. But answer me this, as you think about what stretches ahead, are you just scared to the point of being spitless? Are you just cottonmouth scared about this?
I'm not scared, but I mean,
You don't know what you're getting into. I don't know what you can do. That remains to be seen. I'm pulling for you. But what I know is what you did, which was irresponsible. You say in a moment of passion or whatever, I get it, but that moment's getting ready to last you the rest of your life. If you're not in a situation to offer this child stability, that was your job to do. You didn't do it. So now you got to work double time to create it now. Are you going to get married?
Coming up.
We got you with a headhunter. How do y'all think she did in this first interview?
That whole interview was horrible.
Was horrible?
We now return to the Dr. Phil Housewives Get Real Tuesday.
Are you going to get married?
I do want to get married. That's our next step.
And that baby deserves the best possible care, which is why we set you up with Dr. Masterson, right?
Well, right now we're actually going to my first gynecologist appointment to talk about the baby and see how that's going.
Knock. Hello, how are you doing? Dr. Masterson, nice to meet you. Are you anxious?
Yeah, I'm
nervous?
pretty nervous.
And are you taking any prenatal vitamins right now?
Yeah, I just take the one a day.
That's great, and we're going to give you some samples of ones we like here too as well.
Oh, okay.
Because also taking omega-3 fatty acid helps the baby's eye and brain development, so we'll add that together. That white splotch in there, that's the fetus, and so it's in the right place. See that little flickering? That's heart motion. Eating really well. You just don't get yourself dehydrated, so hydrate yourself really well. You get in the exercise thing, swimming is great. No massages in the first trimester because there's some points in your body that can trigger like miscarriages. So even during pregnancy, you want to go to somebody who's familiar with that. Okay. No raw meats, so no, tuna or steak tartare or,
Oh, no tuna at all?
You can do fish 1 serving per week, and the reason being, even though because the fish oils are good, but there's mercury in the fish. Well, when I talked with Rachel today, I saw that the baby was absolutely fine for her dates. There was heart motion, all the things that we want to look for at a prenatal visit, and so everything looks really good.
You don't have to be wealthy to have children, to raise them responsibly with love and care. But you do need to be able to meet the basics so your parents don't wind up raising your children. We got you with a headhunter.
Yes.
And we're trying to get her into a better position where she can utilize her education. How do you think that went?
I did my best.
Well, let's take a quick look at that.
I've had an opportunity to look over your resume and certainly have some questions for you. The first one I have is, what are you looking for right now?
Just any job where I'm either, you know, a nonprofit organization, a private sector, public sector, anything where I'm just working with the public and I'm out there doing, you know, leadership activities. I don't want to sit behind a desk and file papers, but I'm desperate just to get something good.
You have an interest, obviously, in politics and the nonprofit sector. What do you do to keep up on those industries?
I read the newspaper a lot to see especially what's going on with our local government.
Are you familiar with what's going on in Arizona with SB 1070?
No, I'm not.
Okay. Okay. Just wanted to ask.
Oh my gosh, I should be. I wish I should know the answer to that.
Okay. What would you like me to know most about you?
That I'm a hard worker and a go-getter. Like I'm really determined. I'm persistent. I won't give up.
It's been wonderful meeting with you, Rachel. Thank you very much.
Yes, thank you for meeting me.
How do y'all think she did in this first interview?
That whole interview was horrible.
Was horrible?
Girl, I'm desperate. I'll do anything.
I thought Rachel's interview was, she didn't sound professional. She just came off sounding like a 16-year-old girl, you know, just trying to get her first job after high school.
Well, would you like to know what?
I don't think you saw
would you like
all
to
of
know
it.
What? Well,
she
I'll tell you
probably-
what. I'll
okay.
tell you what.
Let's
If
hear
you
what
want to
she-
whine about it, you can whine about it, or you can learn from it.
Yeah, let's hear what she
did
said.
see all of it.
Yeah.
The woman that was there saw all of it, and then she gave us feedback at the end. Let's see what stuck out to her, and then you can tell us why she's wrong.
First and foremost, the most glaring red flag was her desperate demeanor.
I wouldn't say anything that she asked me kind of stumped me because I was definitely ready to answer every question.
When I asked her about Senate Bill 1070 in Arizona, she had no clue.
That's embarrassing.
Yet she was telling me how well-versed in the public sector she is. It's a disconnect.
I'm a hard worker.
Rachel has a kind of nasal voice, and it can be a little bit distracting. What I notice most about her, however, is her lack of articulation and use of a lot of filler words, like, Her answers were way too long. She could have answered every single question I asked her in probably a third of the time. Say what you have to say and then be quiet. That's always a good rule of thumb.
Well, I would say I'd give myself an A. I thought this was like one of my, best interviews.
If I had to give Rachel a grade for this interview, unfortunately, it would probably be a C- to D+.
Oh my God. Yeah, I'm pretty desperate. It's pretty sad.
Wait,
I mean,
wait a minute,
I'm
wait a
desperate.
minute. What
and
do you-
I shouldn't have showed that.
What do you take away from this process?
She's probably right. I said that way too much.
Well, I want you to study this, because she's going to work with you and actually coach you on how to do the interview properly.
I think I've just been so stuck in what I've been doing, like, for so many years.
Did you hear anything I just said, or were you thinking
It's
about what you were going to say next when I said what I was saying?
No, I need that. Of course, I need all the help I can get, of course.
Okay, you remember how she said, say what you got to say and then shut up?
Yeah.
Is this the shutting up part?
Yeah.
You got some really important feedback here. You have excellent credentials. You're not presenting them in a way that does you justice.
Yeah.
You're going to have to raise your game. Guys, you got a lot of work to do. All right. I'll see you guys soon.
Thank you.
See you later.
Next Tuesday with the Dr. Phil Housewives.
The photographs?
The mistress is revealed.
In this envelope is the pictures of the hoe that my husband slept with.
Let's take a look.
Oh my God.
Then,
I'm going to confront both of you.
Oh, you bitch! You're out of order. I don't care what you say.
Alana takes on Dr. Phil.
Are you telling me that you're too good to be helped?
And the face-off that's been building from day one.
I want you to look at each other. Don't say anything. Eye contact.
What the hell? I don't want to look at her.
The best drama in daytime
Look her in the eye.
is on Dr. Phil. Next Tuesday.
Week after week, Gloria goes to great trouble to keep the focus off of what she really needs and blames the other women for her reluctance to open up. And to be honest, her excuses aren't going to cut it anymore. Rachel needs to grow up, and with a baby on the way, it needs to be soon. In fact, it needs to be right now. I'm going to continue pushing these women to step up to the plate and put their issues on the table. Tune in next week and find out who gets a $10,000 surprise from me. Our housewives have joined the Dr. Phil community. You can go to drphil.com, sign up, and read what they have to say on their personal blogs. And you can also find the housewives on Facebook. So check it out and be sure to click on the link to like them. Thanks for being here. So long.
Are you ready to have a real-life date?
A real-life blind date.
Hello, Gloria.
Hi.
Cheers to meeting you, Gloria.
Well, cheers to meeting you.
Thank you. You live here?
I do, but I travel to Costa Rica where I have a hotel and a surf school.
I've been into the stand-up paddleboard surfing.
Just did it last summer for the first time.
Did you?
Fell in love with it.
I've done the online dating thing. Did you ever do that?
I did. I do think that there's possibilities, but I also think there's complete nut jobs and nightmares to be had.
Yeah.
Both of which I've experienced.
Yeah. I wonder if we were on at the same time. I think I might have winked at you and you just ignored me. That's where
nice
it's coming back from.
Yeah, nice line.
What about getting out on some stand-up paddleboards?
I would like that.
Okay, what time should I pick you up? An hour? Is it possible to get your number so we can plan this out further?
Sure. I think Julie has it.
Well, this has been a true pleasure. Thank you very much.
Thank you, too.
How did you like him?
I think he is an amazing catch. I think he's a beautiful, articulate, athletic man.
When you said beautiful, does that mean beautiful to you?
He became more beautiful. I don't know if the chemistry's there, but it might be.
It's really all I ask of my clients is to be open.
I'm going to be open to it.
Today on Dr. Phil.
I had a drug problem, but I've been clean for 4 months. I want my mom to trust me.
You're not worthy of trust. You're doing Xanax, cocaine, and marijuana. Other than that, you're clean.
The heartbreaking reason for one teen's drug use.
I just need to know what the truth is.
And another teen's secret life.
You want to tell your parents.
I'm sick of living a lie.
Teenage confessions.
The reason I brought you here is...
This is going to be a changing day in your life.
Have a good show, everybody. Here we go.
It matters to you. That's what I want to talk about. Are we ready in the booth? Let's do it. Go, Dr. Phil. All right, this is an important show today. We're talking about getting your teen to give you information about their life, and it can be like pulling teeth. And if they really are hiding something, well, just forget about it. I mean, they're not going to tell you anything. Now, Anna and her daughter are here, and they are in a serious battle. Mom wants her teen to confess.
You've been out all weekend. I've asked you to come home. For what? Why do I have to come home? Why? For what? Because that's the rule of my house. That's where I want you to be. At the end of your day home. You need to check in if you're going to live here. You're going to check in and figure out what's going on. I talk to you every second. I've been calling you and texting you for the last... My phone is dead. Go try one. Turn it on. It won't turn on. You keep hanging around with the wrong people. I'm not even anyone. Hello? I'll send this to him. Tell him that you're high on something right now. Tell him I'm going to send it. Yeah. You better say something or this is what they get. What do you want? You took something, I can tell. Your eyes are... What? Glassy and dazed. What are your eyes? I'm not dazed. I'm not dating either. You're holding a camera at my feet.
All right, well, this is what
Alright,
Dr. Phil
time to cool.
Good.
Good, yeah. Bye.
I don't want you driving in that condition.
I'm not doing anything.
Well, obviously, they did send me the tape. Now, Anna was outraged when she discovered her daughter Allie's secret addiction to prescription pills a year ago. Now, Allie tells her mother that she's been clean for 4 months, but Mom thinks she's hiding something. Today, well, she just wants her to put it on the table. She wants her to come clean. She wants her to confess.
Me and my mom fight almost every day. I just think it's stupid. Like, why can't you trust me? I don't trust her. I know Allie's up to something.
I'm not doing anything. You don't know it now.
She thinks my words are slurring.
I don't feel you're okay, Allie. Everything is, I don't know. I'm asking, shut up, Mom. I'll tell you later. I'll call you. Stop asking me questions.
I had a drug problem for 2 years, but I've been clean for 4 months. I did Oxycontin every day for 2 years. I did steal money from my mom. I stole $2,000 from her right out of her bank account.
I went to check my savings account, and I was short about $2,000 to $3,000.
I'd go into her ATM every day, take out $60, $60, $120, just like tons of money. Like, I didn't even care. I'd go and buy 3 pills, 4 pills.
Where were you?
I was out.
Who were you out with?
Mom, shut up. I think my mom should trust me because I've been such a different person. I'm not using drugs like I used to be. It'll be like maybe once a month. I do Xanax and Klonopins here and there, and like that's it. That's all I do. And I smoke. I smoke weed, but only at night. I've taken Xanax almost every day since Friday. That's 5 days.
You're high. What did you take?
Oh, no!
Xanax. I don't trust Allie. I don't trust her. She's obviously lying to me. She continues to lie to me.
Okay, let's just get right to this. Why are you here?
I want my mom to be able to trust me, and I don't know how to get her to do that.
Okay, now, do you watch this show?
Yeah, I have before.
You've watched it, what, 10 times maybe?
Probably,
6, 5?
no, probably like twice.
Twice?
Yeah.
Big fan, apparently. So what's your sense of what I'm all about from those 2 times that you watched?
To help fix the problem, and I really hope that you can help me and my mom to have a better relationship and have her be able to trust me.
What's your strategy for being here?
Well, I'm hoping you can help us. It's been a long couple of years, and it's really taken everybody apart.
Do you want me to help us, or do you want me to help her? I mean, because listen,
It's all of
I have
us.
a lot of parents that drag their kids to the sacrificial altar and say, "Here, fix my kid. Just let me know when you're done, and I'll be backstage." I mean, that's kind of what you're wanting, right?
Oh, that would be great, but I know that ain't realistic.
That's not going to
But
happen,
it's
right?
not going to happen.
Are you part of the problem here?
Oh, I'm sure I am.
What part would you be?
I'm enabling. I'm definitely enabling. She's my daughter. I feel for her.
Yeah, and you two have a pattern, don't you? In fact, you said she's a pushover.
She is, but she just does not leave me alone, like, at all. She has no trust in me whatsoever.
Are you trustworthy?
I would say I am. I have been getting better. Like, when I had my drug problem, I understand she had no trust for me.
Okay, would that be a no?
So, well,
I
no,
said, are
no,
you trustworthy?
She should trust me.
I said, are you trustworthy?
Yes.
Let's reverse that in a sentence so we can be
Yes,
sure
I
we're
am
clear.
trustworthy.
Are you worthy of her trust?
Yes.
You two have a pattern here, and I'm not going to fall in the pattern. You two yell and scream. And basically, you love it when it breaks into the yelling and screaming, because that means you're no longer on the hot spot. You've broken it down into a yelling fest, so you don't really have to answer hard questions anymore, right?
Right.
True?
True.
Okay, did you hear that?
Yeah.
Okay,
I
see,
know.
there's lessons in everything we do here today. You need to hear that. When she can get you yelling and screaming down on her level, you're supposed to be the adult here, right? But instead, you yell and scream like you're 18, 19 years old. And when she does that, then that means the inquiry has stopped. Mother, shut up. Quit. Yeah, rah. Information exchange has stopped. She's won. You've lost.
Right. I know.
Okay? Well, you know. If you know, why are you doing it?
I haven't been able to change it, and that's
Okay,
one of
well-
the reasons why I'm here, because it's broken me down.
That
I'm weak.
starts your to-do list. Now, let me start yours. You need to tell me the truth. If you had watched this show more than twice, you would know that you might as well tell me the truth, because I'm not going to believe your lies.
Right.
See,
I understand.
I'll
I
throw
know
the,
that one.
I'll throw the flag on you in the
Yeah.
first 10 seconds. Just.
I know that.
And you use a lot of intransitive verbs so you don't have to take a stand.
Yeah.
So I listen to all kinds of things. I said, are you worthy of trust? You said, well, yeah, I'm getting, which means no. The honest truth is you're not worthy of trust. You want her to trust you. You said, I understand she didn't trust me when I was doing drugs, but I've been clean for 4 months. Well, pretty much. Pretty much means what? You're doing Xanax. Are you doing cocaine?
I have.
Okay, in the last 4 months.
Yeah.
Okay, what else?
That's it. And I smoked.
Pardon?
Pot.
You smoke?
Just
Okay,
that.
so you're doing Xanax, cocaine, and marijuana. Other than that, you're clean.
That's my point. We know. I know.
Did somebody stamp stupid on my forehead?
I know.
Other than those 3 illegal drugs that create brain damage and addiction, you're fine. You can't understand why your mother is just all over you all the time. All I'm doing is Xanax, cocaine, and marijuana.
I know.
And she says you're a pushover.
I'm not surprised that's how she thinks.
Are you?
Am I? I am. I am
okay.
now. Yes.
Okay, let's be honest. I mean, come on.
I've been broken down in
You've
the last
watched this
couple
show
of
more
years.
than twice, right?
Yes, I watch it all
She
the
loves
time.
you.
You probably expect now that we've kind of blown the whistle on this, and that you are continuing to do drugs, that what we're going to do is we're going to take a break and then come back and do a bunch of yelling at you. Right?
Right?
And that would be your comfort zone, right? Because, I mean, that's what you're best at. If we can get this into a yell fest and do all that, then it deflects away from the real issues at hand. Why not, for once, we talk about what's really going on?
Yeah.
Which we're going to do, because this is serious stuff. Allie's had 3 car accidents. 2 of them she was driving, 1 of them she was in the wrong place at the wrong time. That's just in the last 7 months. Has she been under the influence every time? We're going to talk about that, and we're going to talk about this worthy of trust issue. Moms, if you haven't hit TiVo yet, do it now. We'll be right back.
Monday on an all-new Dr. Phil. They accuse each other.
Have you said, I hate you so much, I want to dance on your grave?
Yes, I have.
Of spousal abuse.
Do you chest butter?
I've been told that I have.
What do you mean you've been told you have? How do you miss that? Stand up. How do you miss that?
But the real victims are the children.
How old's your son?
He's 4.
He says, why don't you just hit her already and then spit on you?
That's Monday.
Well, Anna says that Allie has been in 3 car accidents in just the last 7 months. And 3 weeks ago, the police actually just brought her home.
Allie does borrow my car from here to there, but she totaled my last car. The car thing's been big for me, because if she kills somebody or kills herself, that's something I'm going to have to live with. I don't want to be the one to pull that trigger.
I got pulled over actually right on Main Street. I don't know why I got pulled over. I honestly forgot. I took a Xanax, by the way, this day. One of the officers gave me the sobriety test. He made me look at the pen. He told me to walk in a straight line. I think I failed all of them. He just let me go.
Okay. Now, we were talking about you being worthy of trust and your mother being unreasonable not to trust you. I mean, that's a pretty good reason to not be trusting you, right? Now, you have said that you've been addicted to Oxycontin, Percocet, Xanax, Klonopin, marijuana, and cocaine for the last 2 years, but that you've been clean for 4 months. You haven't done that stuff.
No, I've only been addicted to Oxycontin. That's the only thing.
Okay, and
I've taken the other things, but I've never gotten addicted.
Okay. And how do you know that?
Because I've never withdrawn from them.
You tested positive for cocaine and benzos last week, right?
Yep.
Tell me how you square this conversation up that you self-righteously and rather sanctimoniously say, I have been clean for 4 months, but she doesn't give me credit for that. And you tested positive last week.
I understand it's not right, but like not every kid, but kids do make mistakes and do try stuff. Like I made my mistake, I learned from it. Like I would never go back to doing Oxycontin. That ruined my life. Like I would never want to be around that and do that ever again.
Well, Allie's brother, Vinny, 17, is joining us right now. He says that his sister's a liar. And he wants her out of the house, he wants her out, and he wants her gone for good. Take a look.
My mom and sister aren't getting along because my sister's a liar, and my mother enables her. And my mother gives her money. Like right after this drug thing started, I don't know why you would give someone money who has a drug addiction. Never made sense to me. My sister's stolen from all of us, so, and then she wonders why no one trusts her. I absolutely hate Allie. It's not coming to a point where I almost hate her. I actually do hate her. I don't know why my mother would trust her. It doesn't make sense. She's a pathological liar. She lies every day. I don't think she goes through a whole day without lying at least 10 times. I think that my mother should tell her to get together and get out.
You believe she is doing drugs consistently? You believe she's driving under the influence consistently? You believe she's out of control?
Regardless of what I believe, like there's proof of it. Like she was pulled over a couple weeks ago, clearly under the influence of something. Like she drug tests, like she fails a drug test, like it doesn't really matter like what I think anymore. Like this is just facts. Like
right.
This is what it is.
Well, I just need to know what the truth is. Now, when the cops brought you home the other day, they gave you a field sobriety test.
Yeah.
They wanted you to walk a straight line. They wanted you to follow the pen with your eyes and like stand on one foot, do all that sort of stuff, right? You couldn't do any of it by your own description, right?
Right.
That means you were motor impaired.
Right.
And which means you were driving under the influence. Why they brought you home instead of put you in jail, I have no idea. But you admit you couldn't even pass a motor skills test in the field, right?
I almost wish they had just put her in jail, and maybe that would have been what she needed to learn.
I didn't take anything that day. It was from the night before, but I was drowsy, so that's what happened.
Listen, I could care less about your timeline of ingesting. You were operating a motor vehicle under the influence, and you don't have the right to do that, and I would have put your butt in jail if I'd stopped you. Seriously. And I would have been doing you a favor, because let me tell you, you drive under the influence and you severely injure or kill someone or hurt yourself, your life has changed forever. This cute party girl, it's not so cute when somebody's paralyzed for the rest of their life because you wanted to go out and party. But let's see what we can agree on. Okay. Can we agree that you're currently doing drugs?
Yes.
Okay. And so we can agree that this 4-month clean is just something you like to say because you're not doing Oxycontin anymore. I say it talking about Oxycontin. I know it's not, obviously I'm not clean because I do other drugs. Well, that's how you represent it to us. You said, I want help, Dr. Phil. I want help with you to get my mother to trust me again because I have been clean for 4 months. Right. And the fact is, you would test positive today by your own description. Right, but she knows that... There's no but. We've talked about this before, that kids are going to go out and do stuff, like and party and do coke once in a while or take a Xanax or whatever. And, like... In her circle, this is normal. It's normal. Like in my group of friends, it's normal. It may be normal in your group of friends because you're running around with a bunch of druggies. I understand. But that doesn't mean that that's normal. Are you kidding me? Do you buy that argument? No. But
I argue with her
You
about
put that
it.
argument forth like, oh, well, this will work. You know, everybody does it. I mean, come on, kids do a little coke here and there, you know, do some Xanax, smoke a little dope, drive under the influence. It's just normal. It's part of being a kid, right? Wrong. That is not true. Why do you think you're doing this? That's the question that I have for you. I want you to think about not if you're doing it. We've established that. And this is addict speak. This is just blah, 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 addict speak. What I want to know is your opinion of why you're doing this. I have my opinion. I want to know what yours is. Be right back.
I get the Xanax from the street. I probably know like 20 people that I could call just to grab them, and they'd have them for me. Oxys right now are going for $90 to $100 because they're not making them anymore. Xanax is way easier to get, and it's way cheaper. You only pay like $2 for one, so you're getting way more for your money.
Okay, you get way more for your money? But let me define what that means. You get way more brain damage. You get way more altered consciousness. You get way more risk of hurting yourself or somebody else. You get way more risk of going to jail. And you get way more risk of destroying your life and any relationship you have with the people that love you. That's a bargain?
I don't take them like that anymore. I don't abuse them like that anymore.
Tell me why you think you started doing this.
Honestly, I think it's because of the bullying in high school.
What do you think about that?
I think that might have driven her. I mean, she had a tough 2 years, really tough. And I forced her to go to school every day.
Tell me about the bullying. What did they do?
Anything, everything you could imagine. They called me names, they threw stuff at me. I sat in the locker room and cried every day. I used to sit home and like make up excuses to my mom so that I didn't have to go to school because I didn't want to be near any of them. Like, the teacher saw everything. No one did one thing. I told my principal, he did nothing. Like, for 2 years straight, I went through it. Like,
and of course, I feel guilty because she asked me to move her out of the school, and I didn't.
What did they call you?
I don't know, just everything, like, just like a whore, a slut, like, just names like that any like teenager would just...
Derogatory names. What did they throw at you?
Just anything.
Pencils,
They would throw anything. They would throw food. They would throw anything they had.
What did you say to yourself?
The boys would do stuff. I used to be quiet. I used to honestly sit there and cry to myself. I did.
Did you feel alone? Did you feel isolated? And it's pretty easy for you to go back to that pain just like that. Would you agree? What do you think about when you think about it?
I just don't know why they did it.
Did you deserve it?
Not at all.
And what did you want from your mother at that point? What did you want her to do with you and for you?
She couldn't really do anything. I mean, I'm the type of person to keep everything in. I don't really tell anyone anything. So like, it was hard. Like, I used to go home and tell her some things, but I usually just told her. Like, I used to come home and be like, Mom, you don't even know the half of it. Like, you don't even know what's going on. But, like, I kept everything to myself. Like, when...
You were embarrassed.
When I just didn't like talking about it. Like, I'd hear the boys, like, talking about me in the back, like, and I would just sit there and cry in the middle of class. Like, no one did anything. They did nothing.
And that changed who you were. It changed what you said to yourself, right? Or what did you say to yourself?
I used to be the best person to be around. Now I'm miserable. Like, I don't know.
That does change you. It does have an effect on you. And so at that time, drugs offered an escape. It eased the pain for a period of time, didn't it? I mean, you could numb yourself to it. You could escape from it. And I'm going to tell you, behaviors often start for one reason and continue for a very different reason. I think when you are in pain, you seek a way to escape the pain. And for you, it was drugs. Now, that's not happening anymore. Those people aren't there to bully you anymore. But you still play that tape in your head. And then the drugs start controlling you.
Right.
There's an addiction that takes over. And the truth is, at some point, you're going to have to cope with this rather than just numbing the pain with drugs. We'll be right back. I think what your daughter needs right now, as you look at her, you still see the sweet little girl that you sat in the floor with and you colored with. That was so much fun and so delightful. I mean, that's still her.
I know she's in there.
But then you see this behavior. And you said that you made a mistake back then. You left her alone to deal with it. You didn't change schools. You didn't intervene in some way. And you feel guilty about that.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I could have moved her to a different school, but...
Did you let her down at that time?
I called the school. I was there for her. She knew she could call me anytime, and I answered the phone no matter what. And she did call me crying a lot from school.
Why do you feel guilty if you're giving me all this stuff about you did this, you did that?
Because of the outcome, because of what it did to her. You know, if I had moved her, maybe none of it would have happened, and she wouldn't be where she is right now.
You said, I should have done thus and so. Well, you can do it now. Because what she needs is not accusation. What she needs is not badgering. What she needs is not alienation.
I know.
She needs your help, she needs your love, and she needs your support. You're not what those kids in school called you. You're not what you say to yourself now when you feel rejected by them and feel like a second-class citizen. You aren't those things. You are a beautiful, intelligent young woman, and you're better than what you're doing. And I think you are actually suffering from some severe anxiety. I think you are having panic attacks that you don't tell people about. You're going to have to stop doing these drugs. But if I take those away from you and put nothing in its place, you're going to be in a real painful place, aren't you? You need some help with these issues. You have been damaged. I think it is time for you to take your power back. You are allowing those bullies from high school to control you even as you sit here right now. It's causing you to alienate yourself from your family, alienate yourself from yourself, hide in drugs because it numbs the pain. That's not okay. She doesn't need a prescription for antidepressant. What she needs is to sit down and deal with this in a meaningful way and decide right now that you're going to get your life back on track. And I will get you the help to do that. I will get you the resources to do that. Not for your mother, not for you, just for you. It's time for you to be the star in your own life. Okay? We can do this. We can do this. What I want, you want to know what's a home run for me? If a year from now, you can look back on this day and say, you know what? On that day, somebody acknowledged the pain I was experiencing on that day. Somebody believed in me that I could turn this around. On that day, I started down a different path. And on this day, a year later, I've got my power back in my life, and I'm going to do something with my life. That's the home run for me. Will you take the help? Be selfish. Decide, you know, it's my time, it's my turn.
I like wake up every day so depressed. Like I hate it. I don't know why.
Well, but let's find out. I think I know why. You need to know why, but I'm telling you, we're going to make this a quest. Okay? If I make the resources available to you, you're going to grab on with both hands. And then you're going to come back here and we're going to talk some more. Because I tell you what, you might have gotten robbed of a couple of years, but what I want is for you to give yourself back the rest of your life. We can do this. We can do this, okay? All right, coming up, a 17-year-old girl from Southern California who says she's living a lie. And she wants to confess it all to her parents. We'll be right back.
My dad tells me how proud he is of me, and it really kills me, because if they knew everything, they wouldn't say how proud they are of me.
My next guest, 17-year-old Lindsay from Southern California, sent me an email through our Teen Talk message board on drphil.com. Now, this Southern California teen says she feels like she is living a double life, and the secret she's been keeping from her parents is eating her up inside.
Hi, Dr. Phil. To my parents, I'm a pretty well-rounded child and don't really get into trouble. My dad tells me how proud he is of me, and it really kills me, because if they knew everything, they wouldn't say how proud they are of me. I crave male attention. I always have a boyfriend. I'm never single. I've sent racy photos to over 30 guys total. Some of these photos have ended up on Facebook, and all of my friends, including my mom, have seen them. It was completely embarrassing and devastating. I didn't even want to go to school. I lost my virginity when I was 14 to a guy who was 19. I've had sex with at least 5 guys, and my dad still thinks I'm a virgin. So now, whenever I go to school, people call me a slut, a whore. It really hurts me. I'm trying to keep a positive attitude, which is why I wrote in to you. I really hope you can help me and my family. Thank you.
You're obviously a very intelligent young woman. You speak very well. You have a great capacity for insight. What's going on here? Why are you doing this?
I don't know. I'm just really sick of living a lie. All I know is I'll find somebody that, you know, I think cares about me a lot, and then I either run or they run. Somebody runs. It's usually me, though.
Well, let's talk about the photos. Why do you send these photos to people? Because you know once they're out there, and these are fully nude photos, right?
Some of them are, yes.
Yeah, and you know once they're out there, they're out there. They could send them to the pastor in your church. They could send them to your college admissions board. They can send them to everybody they know. They could blow them up and put them up in the locker room.
Like, my parents have told me that before. I guess
But yeah, you said you would still do it again.
I'm not really sure. I guess just the fact that somebody wants them, like, cares, and I don't know. I don't think they care, though. I know they don't care, so I honestly don't know why.
Well, but that's not an answer. There's some reason you do it. You said that you crave male attention, and you're flattered that they want them because they ask you for them, right?
And then they tell me how pretty I look, even though I guess it's kind of a bittersweet thing.
Have you ever regretted it? Tell me about that.
One time I sent pictures to a guy that I didn't know, and he ended up putting the photos all over Facebook, and he sent them to my mom, to my brother's friends, posted them on my profile where everybody can see them. But luckily I was online when it happened, so I could delete them right away, but still, I don't know who saw them.
Would it embarrass you if your dad saw them?
Oh yeah, and I think he did when, like the one that got sent to my mom, I had like a bra and underwear on,
But yeah, it was really embarrassing. Really, really embarrassing.
So you want to share this with your parents? You want me to bring them in here and you want to tell them the truth?
Mm-hmm.
And because they really don't know the extent of this.
Oh, no.
And they know that you're going to tell them something that's upsetting. I mean,
Mhm.
they know that. I mean, they don't think they're here for a game show.
Oh, yeah.
And what's your hope with how they react?
I hope that I understand they'll be upset. I just hope that they're a little more understanding that it's not that I'm out to hurt anybody. Like, I'm not trying to, I don't know. I just hope that it goes well.
Well, we're going to take a break, and when we come back, Lindsay's parents are going to join us, and we're going to have some truth-telling. We have a part of our website that's called Teen Talk. Because we deal with a lot of teen issues here. Right. Your lovely daughter wrote in as part of the message boards on that website. And based on what we read and what she had to say, we thought that that was something that warranted intervention and dealing with. And you have said that you want to come clean about everything that's going on because you recognize this is self-destructive, right? So what did you want to say?
The reason I brought you here is because I've had sex with at least 5 guys, and I've sent pictures to at least 30.
Oh. I'm very sorry to hear that.
I'm taking a deep breath here because I promised you I wouldn't. I guess I thought...
You're never going to understand.
I guess that's my problem. I don't understand. I mean, I thought we had talked about this as a family. We had talked about different things. We had talked about sex. We had talked... I thought we had this in... Boy, you really...
You fooled us.
You really snowed me. Because with the conversations we had, you just never talked. So there's more pictures out there than we know of from the one guy.
Mm-hmm.
Worse?
Worse than what?
Are you covered at all?
Nope.
I'm sorry. I mean, this is something of you I never even expected.
No.
I thought we had a talk that you could talk to us about things like this. Talk to us about what's going on in your life.
How do you tell your parents that you're sending pictures to everybody at school? Like, that's just not something you want to tell your parents.
No, it's not. I guess the question is, why do you want to send pictures to everybody at school? Does it help your self-esteem, or why would you want to do that?
Like that. Yeah.
I'd like to know, the guys that you've had sex with, are they older than you? Are they over 18?
If they are, they're in big trouble. I'm sorry.
Are they over 18?
Some have been.
Let's be honest.
And how old were you when this happened?
How old was I when I lost my virginity?
Sure, we'll start there.
14.
Okay.
I'm sorry. I'm really sorry for that. That is so much to take on at 14. It's just, I just didn't want that for you, honey. And it's not that it's what I want for you because, yeah, I'm just really sorry that I made that decision.
And that boy was 19.
Yeah.
Was he?
When you were 14.
Yeah.
We're going to know some names because there are some people that are going to go to jail. And if they're going to jail. 19 knows better. 19 should have, he's an adult, he knows better.
He took advantage of you.
He took advantage of you.
You're not old enough to make that decision.
No, there's a reason why at 18 and at 14 you don't get to make decisions, okay? It's because you're not mature enough to make those decisions. And if this boy did it at 19, guess what? 19 is 20. He's going to jail. And you know your father's going to push it. And if there's another kid, that one's going too. I'm
not
sorry.
here to put people in jail. I'm here
I
to
understand
help
that.
myself. I'm not
We're
trying to
going to
put
help
other
yourself,
people
but these
in
kids,
blame.
I'm sorry.
The focus here, I think, needs to be on why you are so willing to devalue yourself, why you are so willing to allow yourself to be used, even though you think you're the one doing the using, because you want the male attention, so you think, I'm getting what I want, I don't care about them, that is such an unhealthy level of interaction here. You could not have a healthy self-worth and a healthy self-esteem and be willing to do what you're doing. I think that this happening at age 14 in that way was a terrible violation of this child. I think it is a terrible violation of this child. I don't want you to be mad at her. I don't want you to be upset at her. I want you to understand that some things have happened to her that have changed the game, has changed the grid. Her perception is different. She is not a perpetrator. She is a victim here. Because one of the things she said that caused her to write us for help is that you constantly tell her how proud you are of her. And she feels so guilty that the reality is you shouldn't be because she has let you down.
That's not true.
They love you. They hate this behavior. They hate that you have been so devalued that this is okay with you. But we need to help that. This is an anxiety-based, depression-based reaction due to molestation. And she needs your love and support, not your judgment and anger. Well, let's help her with this.
Definitely. You can do nothing to make me not still proud of you. Okay? This is something that, okay, you screwed up. This is a big screw-up thing that we will all try to work together to fix and make it better for you. But you're still my daughter. I still love you. And I'm still proud as hell of you.
I'm proud of you, too. I hate your behavior. But I'm proud of you. I'm proud that you wrote. And I'm proud that you're here looking your parents in the eye and getting this on the table.
Thank you.
Thank you for being the outlet for her to be able
Thank
to...
you for being the person she can talk to.
Just give your daughter a hug.
Yeah.
We'll be right back. If you're a teen, go to drphil.com and you can click on Teen Talk. Now, we have all kinds of information on how you can have these difficult conversations with your parents. I mean, we'll give you some talking points. We'll give you a script. We'll tell you how you can broach this subject. And look, don't expect your parents to go, oh, great, thanks for sharing. I mean, parents are going to have kind of a shock reaction sometimes, but, you know, give us a break here. It takes us a while to wrap our minds around this and then get on board. Now, if you're getting involved in drugs or sex, we're going to have the steps there for you to navigate those difficult times as well. Now, you can go to my Facebook page right now and join the conversation. Now, teens, I do want to hear from you. If you're hiding something from your parents, a great place to talk to other teens about this is on our message boards under Teen Talk. And parents, if you feel your teen is hiding something from you, it's a great way to get the discussion going. Go to those message boards and read through. And if they start getting a little nervous when you come to one subject matter or another, maybe that's a clue. I appreciate y'all for being here today, and we'll stay in touch. Thanks so much. So. Appreciate it.
On an all-new Dr. Phil.
Well, let's ask Dr. Phil, and a lot of the questions are about parenting.
Should a mom be acting like her teen daughter?
She's living with your ex-boyfriend. How old is he?
19.
Should a boy be the man of the house?
I should not have to check in with my 9-year-old.
You've got to step back up and get control.
Plus, amazing weight loss results and an update on Ted Williams.
Ted left treatment against medical advice. This is going to be a changing day in your life.
Have a good show, everybody. Here we go.
If it matters to you, that's what I want to talk about. Are we ready in the booth? Let's do it. Go, Dr. Phil. Today because it is Ask Dr. Phil Day, and that means I get all kinds of questions. I'm going to answer questions about everything from babies to diets to bossy kids to checked out moms. But first question that I've been stopped on the streets most about lately is what's the latest with Ted Williams, the homeless guy with the golden voice. Before I give you an update, here's what's happened leading up to the latest headline. He has gone from rags to riches. I'm going to go sit down with Ted and tell him what I think. I think you need to go to rehab. I will provide that for you. We are prepared to make that available to you.
That'd be fine. Then I'll get up and hug you for that.
After taping a 3-part series of the Dr. Phil Show, Ted Williams says he's now headed for rehab.
I'm going to get well. All I ask is that you don't forget me.
Well, Dr. Phil, I am surrounded by the best medical team that can be offered at this moment, and I feel really, really good.
Ted, thank you so much. As you know, no cameras in rehab. We're leaving you alone. Do what you got to do, my friend.
I love you, Dr. Phil.
Ted has made the decision and commitment to voluntarily put himself in rehab at Origins Recovery Center. He sounds great and motivated about the second chance, but the question is, will that commitment last? What happens from this point forward is now 100% up to him, and this is no sure thing. Well, that was prophetic, if I do say so myself, because as reported, Ted left the Origins Recovery Center in Texas against medical advice. Now, he was there voluntarily, so it was certainly his option to depart. It was definitely not my first choice for him to leave there. But once he enters treatment, what happens then is totally between him and the medical staff that works with him on a daily basis. I step back and let the professionals do what they do. Now, my recommendation was that he stay at least 30 days, preferably 90 days, and then probably go to a sober living house before returning to his old environment. I felt like that was his best chance to not be a 15-minute phenom, but to truly get his life, family, and career back. But drug addiction is a complex disease with medical, psychological, environmental, and social components. You all know Brandon. It was the first live intervention that I think's ever been done on television. We did it right here on this stage. It took him at least 3 years to get sober. He came on this stage, flipped me off, and stormed off. He relapsed once. He relapsed twice. I wound up visiting him during a 6-month jail sentence where he had been arrested for black tar heroin. Now, however, he's been completely clean and sober for 5 years, and even more amazing, he is leading others to sobriety. With Ted leaving treatment so early in the game, he is on a very slippery slope. We can all hope for the best, but I think we have to expect the worst. Ted, if you're listening, I stand ready to help. I wish you all the best, and I hope that you decide to return to treatment. Now, moving on. My first guest, 17-year-old Amanda, says that she is upset that her mom parties more than she does. Take a look.
I want my mom to be there like a mom and not a friend. My parents have been separated for about 2 years now. She's not the same person she was. My mom's 38, just got a tattoo, and likes to party. I don't like how much you party.
How much do I party?
All the time.
What is all the time?
Every weekend. When I was younger, my mom was kind of strict towards partying, but now she's kind of like, let's party together. Let's go get drunk. My mom usually parties with her next door neighbors. They're around 19 to 21. She hangs out with younger people to make herself feel younger. It makes me embarrassed. I introduced my mom to Anthony when he was my boyfriend. Now, Anthony and my mom live together. They're roommates.
This is my living room. Quite extravagant.
Anthony's 19, almost 20. It's weird, obviously. A couple months ago, my mom quit her job. When she quit her job, she received her retirement money. 2 months later, she has pretty much none of it left. It's a stupid decision. I feel like I should slap my mom with a reality stick. She needs to be more of a mom than my best friend. There's always going to be a part of me that wants the mom I had from when I was little to 16 back.
So what's up with your mom?
I'd say I'm concerned that she's more focused on having fun than her responsibilities.
But why? What happened? What sent her spinning in the fun direction?
Okay, well, when her and my dad separated, she kind of changed. And she, like, recently quit her job, so she doesn't really have any responsibilities.
You think the divorce set her off?
Yeah.
Because let me tell you a couple things that she told us and tell me if this is consistent with how she's living.
Okay.
She says, quote, "I've recently taken back myself. I am desperate to make my dreams come true and want everything that makes me happy or feel good."
Yeah.
Does that sound like the way she's behaving?
Yeah, she does. Everything she does I know makes her happy, so I obviously will support her, but still part of me is bothered by it.
Yeah, well, I don't blame you. So what'd you think when she got an arm full of tattoos?
I actually like her tattoo.
Yeah?
Because I'm on it.
Yeah, well, that's one good thing, I suppose.
I mean, it's different because she's older, and usually younger people get tattoos, but...
Yeah. She's living with your ex-boyfriend. How old's he?
19.
Doesn't that creep you out?
We didn't really date for long if we weren't, like, in love or anything.
Well, that's handy. All right, next, you're going to meet Amanda's mom and find out why she's living with Amanda's ex-boyfriend. And later, they have lost inches and pounds in just 17 days. We're talking about the 17-day diet challenge. The results are amazing later in the show. We'll be right back.
People come up to me and say, "Wow, you look great. What are you doing?"
I feel so good because I've lost 3 inches from my waist.
I gained a bunch of weight during my pregnancy, but I lost 21 pounds on the 17-day diet. 21.
Well, it's Ask Dr. Phil Day, and I'm here with Amanda, who says her mom, Beth, would be better off if she would be more of a parent and less of a friend. But Beth says, hey, it's time to have some fun. Take a look.
My children live with their father full-time. I've wanted to leave for a long time. I just didn't. But it wasn't anything against him. It was me. I finally decided enough was enough, that I was going to take my life back, that I was going to start doing what I wanted to do. I moved out a year and a half ago. Now I live with my best friend, Anthony, and my cat. I worked for 10 years at a really good job. I quit the job and cashed out my retirement plan, and now I'm just kind of winging it. I am down to have a good time and have a few drinks with some friends and let loose and dance and sing. Basically, I can make my own decisions and not worry about things, because nothing I would ever choose is bad for anybody, only good for myself. I think I've been a pretty good mom. Maybe not the best mom, but absolutely not even close to the worst, because I was always there for my kids. You said that you liked everything about me. Are you faking it? They knew they were loved, always.
Okay, so you're kind of watching your story here, and you've kind of told us what your thinking is. You're just desperate to have some fun.
Well, I'm desperate to have any fun, yes, but not to the point where I'm going, I know she thinks I party too much, but I just want to do what I want to do. I lived with my dad for 18 years, then I moved with her dad, and I lived with him for 19 years. I was never able to make my own decisions. Got to a point where I decided I want to start making my own decisions.
Okay. And listen, I get that. I do. I can't tell you how many mothers that I've said, look, you need to take care of yourself. You need to do something for yourself. You need to have a good time. But that doesn't mean that you just drop the kids at the mall and don't ever come back.
Oh, no, for sure.
I mean, you
see her
can't just...
every week.
Well,
It's not like I never see her.
But let me tell you something that she said. I wrote this down because I thought it is pretty important. She said that she frankly feels like you've pretty much abandoned her, and that you'll put friends before her. You said that, right?
I said that sometimes I'll ask her to do something and she'll be busy with friends. So
You said, quote, feel like mom abandons me. If I need her, she'll put friends before me. Now, that's not the way you feel. Don't say it now. If you've changed your mind since we interviewed you.
So, say whatever you feel.
No, I do not think you abandoned me, obviously, because I see you every week, but I do feel like you put friends before me at times. So, yeah, it makes me upset.
And she says she wants to tell you how she feels, but that you're just too hard-headed to hear it. Did you say that?
Yes, I did.
Okay.
I think she's afraid to tell me. And I learned that while...
Well, but you're here.
Yeah, yay.
Yeah, and she's telling you now, sort of. She's kind of backpedaling because you're here, so she's kind of like, well,
Wait.
But no, I mean, this is about balance, right?
For sure.
You're living with a 20-year-old.
Yeah.
Why?
Because I enjoy his company.
Well, you've got a 20-year-old almost.
No, we argue a lot more than my roommate and I. She wouldn't live with me regardless.
Are you sleeping with this boy?
Like having sex?
Yes.
No.
But you're sleeping with him and not having sex?
Like sleeping in the same bed.
Well, we don't have sex.
But you share a bed?
We have shared a bed. And we don't snuggle, we don't touch, we don't... I live in a fifth wheel. Where are we going to sleep?
Yeah, so it's tight.
Yeah.
Okay, so you quit your job.
I did.
And you say she just needs to be slapped for that.
Yes.
Would you like me to slap her?
A lot of people think I did it.
I'm here to serve.
I worked for the government for 10 years. All I got was a cup. So I decided, I'm done.
Well, no, you got a cup and 10 years of salary and 10 years of retirement built up.
And I did get it out before the law started
health care and benefits and all of that. So you got a lot more than a cup.
Yeah, I did. But I put in for it. I worked for it. They didn't give it to me.
No, exactly. And now you're unemployed, right?
Correct.
And you're
no, actually, I have a job offer. So
you what?
I have a job offer.
You have a job offer. But you can't take it because you're having surgery done Saturday.
Possibly.
What are you having done?
Breast enhancement surgery.
Breast enhancements. To go with your new tattoo.
I have 4 tattoos.
4 tattoos.
Yeah.
Look, you do need to take care of yourself. I mean, there's no question about that. You really do. And I don't mean to suggest that you don't. But you do need to finish what you started.
Absolutely.
You have your daughter and you have a son.
Right.
And he's 12 years old.
Yes.
And he misses you.
He comes to me every week, and I pick him up from school after school every day.
Does he miss her?
Well, obviously, yes.
Has this been hard on him?
He doesn't really let it show because he's young and I don't know, but I can tell he's sad at times.
When I talked to him yesterday, he said that he wanted to come on Dr. Phil to tell you that I don't buy him enough video games.
That's clever.
That was his reaction.
Yeah, that's because he's 12.
Exactly.
I don't really worry about my kids too much. Sometimes I worry about my son. Maybe he needs me a little more, but for the most part, my kids are pretty well adjusted.
This change my mom's going through has affected my little brother because he doesn't really understand why he can only see her once a week when he was used to seeing her every day.
I spend more quality time with my son now than I did when I lived with him. I'm pretty content with the time I spend with kids. Obviously, if there's free time in the day, I could always spend more time with them. And who knows, you know, depending on where my future goes, I might spend a lot more time with them.
My biggest fear about my mom, I might lose her because over the past 2 years, we're not as close as we were, and I might not have her at all.
You understand there is a price for what you're doing.
Oh, definitely.
And she's paying it, and he's paying it.
Definitely.
And so you just have to decide, are you willing for them to pay the price? Because I think you need to take care of yourself, create some balance in your life, but I also think you have to finish what you started.
Right.
You have to parent these children.
Right.
You don't just, you have 2 children, they're both living with their dad. Because you say, well, he needs to be with his dad, but he needs his mother, he misses you.
Right. What do you suggest?
Well, I suggest some balance here. I suggest that you... Well, okay, you asked. Let me just give you a tick list here. I suggest that you not be living with a 20-year-old because I think that's really bad for him. I don't know what his thinking is.
They really get along well. It's like his big brother.
I'm talking about the 20-year-old.
Oh, the 20-year-old and I, though, were not in a relationship.
Yeah, you're just roommates.
So, exactly.
Yeah.
So that's different.
We've never shown affection out in the public. We've never portrayed ourselves as boyfriend or dating or anything like that.
I am suggesting that she needs a mother, not a friend, that your son needs his mother. I think having him just live with his father all the time is apparently painful to him, so I think that's a bad idea. I think you need to get a job.
Oh, I know I need to get a job.
And I think you need to take care of your responsibilities with your children. You started that before you decided it was time that you were desperate to have some fun and do anything that felt good to you. I think you have to balance those things out, or you're going to have a disaster on your hands. All right, we got to take a quick break. Next, a mom who says her 9-year-old son is trying to control her. And later, you're going to be seeing a lot less of my 17-day dieters. Check this out.
My name is Heather, and I have lost 22 pounds. Everybody wants to know my secret. They're constantly asking me, what are you doing? What diet are you on? And 17-day diet is all I say.
More amazing 17-day diet results. You won't want to miss this, so stick around. Ask Dr. Phil today, and a lot of the questions are about parenting. Now, Gigi wrote to me complaining about her 9-year-old son. The problem is he thinks he's the parent. He wants his mother on a short leash. Take a look.
Yeah, I've had it with my son, Dontrell, who's 9.
You're making stuff too difficult for no reason.
Dontrell is controlling.
I didn't say I liked it. Everything gotta be difficult.
He wants to know what I'm doing, where I am, who I'm with, what's happening. I should not have to check in with my 9-year-old. If I say I'm going to the doctor, he might call home from school. Did you go to the doctor today? How was your doctor's appointment? If I get off work, I'm supposed to be here at 5:30. He's calling me at 5:02. Mom, are you off? Where are you?
One time I called my mom 45 times because I wanted somebody to talk to.
Dontrell feels like he is the man of the house.
You got the keys, right, Mom?
He's very unpredictable. He gets in trouble a lot for disrespect, being sneaky, lying.
The main problem between me and my mom is communication.
All I know is he's been a great child till 9. And then he started getting a little crazy, and nobody knows why. A few months ago, Dontrell ran away 5 times within a 2-month period.
The #1 reason was because my mom was getting on my nerves.
For him to run away, to come back and say, it's because I hate my mom, I need to get away from her, I feel like she's always in my face, was very appalling. Makes me feel helpless. What can I do to reconnect with my son and tame his controlling ways so that we can function better as a household, have more positive interactions?
Can't say I'm the perfect angel, but I'm like half of it.
Okay. Now, first off, good news and bad news, you have a really bright son.
Right.
He's very smart, right?
Right.
But he's bugging you now.
Oh, yeah.
He's bugging you now. So we got the tail wagging the dog here.
Man, or something.
Yeah, we got him where he's got you just frustrated.
Yeah, beyond belief.
And listen, right now, he's kind of cute with this and kind of benevolent about it because he calls you 45 times because he's bored and he misses you and he wants to talk to you, and that's kind of sweet in a way, right? Mm-hmm. But the truth is, he doesn't know where the boundaries are.
Correct.
He doesn't respect the boundaries, and that's a problem. See, you're not raising a child, you're raising an adult. And between now and adulthood, he's going to go through teenage years because he's getting ready to get hit with testosterone. He's gonna get bigger. He's going to get stronger. This is going to be an issue.
Yeah.
You have to make your stand right here, right now, because at 9 years old, you can really have some influence and power over him that 3 years from now, 4 years from now, you can't have. So now's the time. You need to throw down and have this out right here, right now. Because 3-4 years from now, you are not going to be able to control him.
I know, that's why I'm here.
Okay, but do you get that now's the time?
Yeah.
And you got to go into commando parenting. And I'm going to tell you what I mean by that. You describe yourself as a really good mom 25% of the time.
I didn't say that.
He said that.
Oh, okay.
So what's happening the other 75%?
I don't know. What did he say?
Well, you tell me, why would he say that? Is that because you do what he wants you to 25% of the time?
That's probably as much as he gets his way, is 25% of the time.
You think that's it?
Oh, I know that's it. I put my foot down on a regular basis.
Yeah, and what happens when you do that?
It just makes things more difficult a lot of the times. It causes him to become more stubborn.
Okay, and as smart as he seems, and as devoted as he seems, I mean, he makes a commitment to getting control, right?
Yes,
he hangs with it.
He does.
But you recognize that he doesn't have the ability to predict the consequences of his actions.
Definitely not.
He's run away 5 times, right?
Yes.
When he runs away, he puts his life in jeopardy.
I know.
Because there are predators out there that will get a hold of him, and there is no telling what might happen. The truth is, you've got to be willing to get him under control by going way strict in the beginning and be prepared for him to rebel. Right now, he's got a real sense of entitlement, true?
Correct.
Tell me what that means to you, that he's entitled.
He feels like he's entitled to be the man of the house and to make the decisions that an adult should make when he doesn't understand, you know, the full consequence of making that decision.
Yeah.
He just picks left or right, not actually thinking about it.
You got 4 jobs with him. Safety. You got to keep him safe, and he's running away. He's not safe.
Correct.
If he continues to do that, then you got to take whatever measures necessary, even if it meant taking him out of the home.
Right.
Health. You got to make sure he's healthy, and that means you got to keep him away from drugs and alcohol and predators and that sort of thing. You have to prepare him. You got to teach him to perform in school, and that teach him that when you do a good job, the world rewards you. Not with your love. That's unconditional.
Right.
You love him whether he makes A, B, C's, D's, whatever. You got to love him no matter what. But you have to make sure he understands that the world's going to require him to perform. And then you got to prepare him to be an adult. You got to teach him responsibility. And right now, he doesn't know responsibility. He just knows demand. Kids, they want what they want when they want it, and they want it right now.
Right now.
Yeah, they want it right now. I mean, look at this picture.
Yeah.
Okay. Wonder where he gets the sense of entitlement.
Oh, yeah.
It looks like you snapped that picture at Toys R Us. Okay? And when I say commando, you've got to be prepared for all of that to go away. And I am full aware that right now you kind of have lost traction with him. You need some help with that. And I'm going to get a counselor to help you with this.
Okay.
And it's going to be a male
That's what he needs.
counselor that's going to teach him what it is to be a man. But I'm telling you, you've got to go into what I call commando parenting. And I'm going to get you support to do that. But that means you got to be willing to strip his world.
Yes.
You got to be willing to say, look, you want to be a man, then you treat your mother with respect. We make some agreements. We set up some boundaries. We set up some structures. We're going to write it down in a contract. We're going to both sign it. We're going to put it on the refrigerator door.
Okay.
And you're going to agree to the things, young man, that you say you're going to agree to. And if you violate those, there's going to be a severe penalty of whatever his currency is. You've got to step back up and get control.
I can do that.
I know you can do that. All right, we're going to make it work?
I think so.
All right. All right, next, a mom who says it's okay to exploit your baby. Well, Teresa Strasser is here. You've seen her on the show before. She's a comedian. She's a television personality. She's a radio personality. And most importantly, she's a new mom who can't stop obsessing about her new baby. So she hit the streets with some questions about baby etiquette. Take a look.
Hey, Dr. Phil. So I first came on your show, I was 8 months pregnant. Now I have a 16-month-old. But when it comes to the world of baby etiquette, I'm still kind of a baby. So I came here to get some answers. Okay, so your kids are in a restaurant and they're just completely freaking out. What do?
You bail. You're like, whose kids are those?
I like your style a lot. What do you think of shrieking babies on planes?
It is 100% the parents' fault.
Am I allowed to touch a pregnant person's stomach?
No.
But I mean, there's a human child just coming out at me. I want to touch it so badly.
But it's not yours to touch.
Is it rude to ask when someone's due?
I just would never ask anyone if they were pregnant. 2 months after I had delivered, people will still say, when are you due? And I'm like, 2 months ago.
Unless that baby is actually crowning and you can see it coming out, don't ask when she's due. Charlie, do you like Dr. Phil? That's a yes. You see an ugly baby, what do you say?
We lie through our teeth, and then we go home and mock the baby.
There's all children are beautiful.
Now, Teresa has a new book called Exploiting My Baby Because It's Exploiting Me. You had to explain that title.
Okay, well, as a writer, you know, everything is fodder. But when I was pregnant, I was worried, if I write about this pregnancy, will people think I'm just exploiting my baby? So I called it that.
Yeah, well, okay.
You know, you got to look the boogeyman right in the eyes.
Yeah, so I've read this, actually, and you talk about everything. You said you used to be really private.
Yeah,
about things, and then all of a sudden, once you have a baby, you're pregnant, you talk about anything.
Yeah, I talk about hemorrhoids, which, by the way, there is a bright side, because I think that's nature telling you, get up and move around. Maybe lay off the cheese wheels.
You said your biggest worry was becoming like your mom.
Yeah, I was terrified, but I was really scared that I didn't have the stuff to be a great mom because I didn't have a great mom. I mean, I always used to joke, she should have named me and my brother Burden and Buzzkill. It was not her thing. And I will say, while she was not a great mother, she's a great grandmother. She's watching my baby right now.
So how is the baby?
Oh, my gosh. She's so adorable. I made a lot of, you know, oh, yeah, that's Nathaniel. I love him so much. I made a lot of proclamations before I had the baby, like what kind of mom. I was never going to have boring conversations about my baby. And yet we could sit here and I could go on about the difference between Aquaphor, Balmex, butt paste, you know, for 3 hours. I know. But you have a grandbaby, so you know.
I do have a grandbaby.
You change the diapers? You get in there?
No,
Robin? No.
No, this is our granddaughter.
Oh, she's gorgeous.
Yeah.
You must be so excited.
Yeah, I really am, and she likes me pretty well, actually.
She does?
Yeah.
Who does she like better, you or Robin?
Oh, Robin, for sure. There's no question about it. I mean, when Robin walks in the room, she starts kicking her legs and going
when they
crazy.
get happy when they see somebody,
yeah,
they do
see, here we are talking about babies like old people. These aren't stories.
I know, but I thought when I got pregnant, I was scared. Like, what if both my ass and my mind wear mom jeans?
Yeah, that'd be bad.
You know, like if I become a complete bore, then I realized I'm already a bore.
But see, you got really sideways with Nancy O'Dell in this book.
Yeah.
Has she read the book?
No.
No?
I really...
She's a good friend of mine.
Oh,
so.
no. It's out of jealousy. I couldn't be more jealous of Nancy O'Dell. She's beautiful. She's got a very successful career. I'm on AM radio, Dr. Phil. But she wrote a pregnancy book called Full of Life. And she talked about her main symptoms were her extra glowing skin and glowing hair. Meanwhile, I was like barfing, I had hemorrhoids, my skin was breaking out, and her biggest problem was how to redecorate the nursery. You know, I hated her. And then in the end of her book, she says, one day I was crying, and finally my husband said, babe, and he calls her babe. Finally my husband says, babe, what's wrong? And she said, I'm just so happy. And then he said, you have postpartum elation. And, you know, when you're pregnant, you're hormonal, and, you know, you're swollen. I had cankles. I threw the book across the room. She's too perfect.
You had a question for me. What is it?
Okay, all right. Well, you and Robin are incredibly classy, and particularly Robin is a beautiful dresser. Now, my mother, who, as you know, has come around, and now she babysits, she showed up to, we'd go to the little Mommy and Me gymnastics. She was wearing an extra-large men's shirt. It was tie-dye with dancing bears. It was red and orange. It was so bright, like a kid had a seizure. How can I get her to dress in a more tactful manner?
You need to pick your battles. That is not a battle you want to pick.
It was tie-dye. There's dye right in the word, because I died inside.
I know, but you don't want to pick that battle. What you want to do is be so glad that she's babysitting your child.
Yeah, for free.
Yeah.
The low, low cost of nothing, right?
Yeah, exactly. All right. Teresa's new book is called Exploiting My Baby Because It's Exploiting Me. If you read this book, you will laugh till you are sick, I swear. But it's also very insightful. People will relate to this. All right, next, amazing results from the 17-day diet. We'll be right back. Well, it is the #1 weight loss plan in America, the 17-day diet. Now, a few weeks ago, we introduced you to a group of people who couldn't wait to try it. Let's see how they're doing. I am launching the 17-day diet challenge starting right now.
By looking at me, nobody would ever think that I was a real-life in-store Barbie doll.
When I saw the video of my backside, I can't imagine anybody walking behind me and not saying, look at her butt.
When I saw myself in the underwear on the Dr. Phil show, it was probably the most embarrassing moment.
The 17-day diet challenge is not just for these three. I want Chanel, Amanda, Tracy, Brad, Joni, Tom, and Christina. People on my left, you are Team Dr. Phil. People on my right, I have a different team captain for you. Please welcome Dr. Travis Stork from The Doctor.
So we wish the Dr. Phil team the best, but we're going to win.
Failure is not an option. We're going to do this right one time, and everybody's going to do it with us.
So far, I've lost 9 pounds. I just can't believe how fast the results are coming along and how good it's making me feel.
I lost 45 pounds on the 17-day diet, and I feel great.
Since I've been on the 17-day diet, I have lost 12 pounds.
I'm Tom, and I've lost 34 pounds on the 17-day diet. It's the greatest feeling. I have more energy than I ever imagined I could have.
Okay, what you just heard, Doctor, this is after the first cycle, 17 days in, and some of those are 34 pounds in 17 days, 17 pounds in 17 days. If you want to join the 17-day dieters, you can order the book at 17daydiet.com, 17daydiet.com. Now, Dr. Mike here is the author of the 17-day diet, and he's here to talk about this. Now, are you amazed at how your book has swept across America?
I'm a little shocked because people have just embraced this thing and really see the passion behind where this is going to take us. But people are doing so well and really finding it so easy.
Yeah, it's just astounding to me. I mean, this thing has just gone crazy since we introduced it here. And everybody at home can be part of the 17-day diet. In fact, take a look at these Facebook comments from people that have. Deb, day 14, have lost 10.2 pounds. Kelly, I'm amazed at this diet. 9 days, 9 pounds, feeling great. Jim, I've been on it since January 3rd, down 18 pounds. Awesome. Katz, I love this plan. I've lost 13.5 pounds on day 15. Now, you're not surprised at that, because what you set out in here really maximizes the body's ability to burn.
This diet, as you go on, it gets better. It gets easier. You continue to see results. I just don't think there's anything like they're out there.
Because what happens most of the time with diets is people plateau.
Right.
And what happens is after 17 days, you shift everything to phase 2. After 17 days, phase 3. 17 days, phase 4. And so it lays it out for them so they can do it.
Each cycle has a very unique part of it, and there's a true reason why you go through each cycle. And to be on a diet where you have something to look forward to is so rare.
Yeah, so you don't fatigue.
Right, you don't get bored, you don't fatigue, you don't plateau. You continue to see those results and enjoy it more and more.
And you guys know how I feel about this. The book talks very specifically about the fact that you need to exercise, you need to change your lifestyle, you need to do things so you support all of this rapid weight loss, which research is actually saying that rapid weight loss is a positive at this point.
If you do them in a healthy way, the way this book sets it up to do, it just makes you want to keep going.
Yeah, right. All right, next, why one woman is jealous of her husband's weight loss. She's saying, I'm feeling a little disconnected here. We'll be right back. Well, It's Ask Dr. Phil Day, and we are here with Dr. Mike Moreno, the author of the 17-Day Diet. And also, Tom is here, who's one of the challengers, and he has lost 34 pounds. He's with his wife, Rebecca, who says, frankly, she's a little jealous of his weight loss program. First, congratulations, 34 pounds in 17 days. That's great.
Thanks, Dr. Phil.
Because you've made an important promise to somebody that you really need to keep.
Yeah, I have a 17-month-old son, and before he was born, I made a video journal, and I was promising him, look, you're never going to have to know a 300-pound dad. I didn't quite keep up on that promise, but now I'm able to actually, I'm getting close to getting under 300 pounds.
Yeah,
he won't know a 300-pound dad. He's not going to remember a 300-pound dad.
Yeah, so you're staying with this.
Absolutely.
And
absolutely.
So what do you think about this?
I think it's awesome. The envious part is that he's talking to the other contestants all the time, and I can support him only to a certain extent because, you know, I don't know exactly what he's going through because I'm not going through it. I don't have tons of weight to lose, but he's talking a lot to contestants, and I can't really understand it fully. So.
Yeah. But you do support him, right?
Oh, yes, 100%.
Absolutely. Because, listen, one of the things that's so important about this, and Doctor, we've talked about this a lot, if you're going to lose weight and you're going to keep it off, you've got to set your life up to support where you're going and where you get. And that means you've got to surround yourself with people that support what you're doing.
She's the most amazing woman I've ever met in my life, so I want her to feel included in everything.
Yeah.
I would say that if she wasn't sitting here, too.
All right, now you're making the rest of us look bad. So what's your question for the doc?
Okay, Dr. Mike, I know you read my food journals before I started this, and I know that you know that I had a problem with diet soda. I drank about 12 to 16 a day. Thank you.
A problem, I don't know if I would I think it goes a little beyond that. I'm kidding, but no, go ahead, I'm sorry.
Through this process, I've done pretty well so far. I have not been able to completely kick the diet sodas. I'm down to between 1 and 3 a day. I want to know, like, exactly how bad are they for me? I mean, is it really that bad? Because it don't feel that bad.
You know, First of all, I want to congratulate you because, you know, you've done something that not a lot of people can do, and I think that's amazing. So I really want to congratulate you. You know, everybody talks about sodas, and everyone's like, oh, don't drink sodas. They're bad for you. Why are they bad for you? Well, let's talk about it for a second. You know, the basis of health is hydration. And, you know, we talk about hydration all the time. When you take a soda, you take the sodium, you take the sugars, you take the caffeine, there's really nothing good about it. And you're really going away from what we all want in that whole process. And weight loss is hydration, keeping your body hydrated. And we talk about that a lot in the book. So I think, you know, that's the basis of that's just one point. You talk about blood pressure, you talk about sugars, you talk about so many things like that. I tell people, reach for a glass of water. Now, I'll be honest, I'm not a big water drinker. It doesn't taste very well. In fact, it doesn't taste. So what I like to do, there's a number of different zero-carb or very, very low-carb drinks that are flavored. There are a lot of packets you can add to water. Or what I do is I take these little 20-ounce things, I dilute them. So I'll drink one, I'll empty it, and I'll dilute it with water half and half. You're not going to get any carbs. You're going to get all the hydration you need. You may be going to the bathroom a lot, but let me tell you, it's going to be helpful for you.
Okay, but now, and I want people to know, because you talk about this in the book, the high sodium can affect your blood pressure. But also, I want people to know, this tricks your body, because you give your body a signal that sugar's coming,
right?
And so it activates insulin and starts doing different things, and then it doesn't come.
Yeah,
so your body's like, hey, what?
I'll tell you, I see so many problems every day that are based solely on dehydration. People come in dizzy. People come in with headaches. People come in fatigued. Night cramps, leg cramps. I hear that 2-3 times a day. Let me tell you, a glass of water can change those things overnight.
And you go in the opposite direction with a diet drink. Okay, make sure to watch the doctors tomorrow to see who lost the most weight so far on the 17-Day Diet Challenge. And again, if you want to join the dieters, go to 17daydiet.com. We'll be right back. I want to thank all of my guests today, and a special thanks to Dr. Mike Moreno, whose book, The 17-Day Diet, is only available at 17daydiet.com. Make sure you watch the doctors tomorrow to see who's lost the most weight in the challenge. And thanks to Teresa Strasser. Her new book is called Exploiting My Baby Because It's Exploiting Me. And everybody in the audience is going home with a copy. All right? So you got that. Thanks for being here. So long.
Today on an all-new Dr. Phil, a bullying experiment caught on video.
When two girls start bullying another girl, who comes to her aid and who joins the bullies?
What makes good people do bad things?
You're willing to bash someone else just so that you can go further?
Yeah, I'm willing to bash her.
Plus, a former gang member.
My life is in danger just for being here.
Who led a double life.
You would go to church in the morning and go rob somebody at gunpoint in the afternoon. This is going to be a changing day in your life.
Have a good show, everybody. Here we go.
It matters to you. That's what I want to talk about. Are you ready in the booth?
Okay.
Let's do it. Go, Dr. Phil. We recently did a show about something called the Lucifer effect, how good people turn evil under certain circumstances. And I have been asking the questions, do you really wonder if you could be that kind of person? Are you a good person that in a certain circumstance, certain situation, with certain pressures and influences, you could do something really, really wrong? Now, what can cause an otherwise decent person to perform even the most horrific of acts? Well, we did quite a few experiments during that show with such fascinating results, we decided to do more. Here's what happened on the last show. We are doing some of the most interesting experiments you have ever seen. Now, the authority figure you're looking at is actually an actor. We're going to send him out to do a little experiment with our audience while they're waiting to be seated for the show.
Okay. Can I have you, and you sit over here, please? Then can I have you, and you sit over here, please? I'd like you two to take off your left shoe and hold it out and shake it like that. Can you take that wristwatch off and put it on that one? Take that wristwatch off, put it on that one. Did you shake your shoes out? Good, good. Okay, can you put that back on, please? Blondes, all blondes, move to the back of the room, please. You'll be going inside the studio very shortly, all right? Thank you.
You're listening to this guy. He's just an actor. What sold it? The hat? Okay, will you now do what I tell you to do? Holding the hat?
In this demonstration, we want to see whether ordinary people blindly obey someone who seems like an authority when he asks them to do something potentially dangerous. Pretend security guard is going to ask one of the audience members to taser the perpetrator if he moves. Will he do it? Will he not?
You just stay right here. Just stay right here. Sir, can you come here? Just watch this guy just for a second. Just broke into a freaking soundstage. If he moves, I want you to tase him. Tase him. Okay? Okay. Just stay right there. I'll get my superior. Just press this. All right? It's not going to hurt him. It's just going to take him down a little bit. Watch him. Watch him. He's going. I'm going. Dude, no.
You're not so much on this halt, stand still stuff or anything. No. Freeze, whatever. He flinched and you... And then when he was down, you thought you'd just give him one for good measure?
I want to make sure he didn't get up, right?
What's your job?
I'm a facilitator director at our church.
Man, what are you doing? Stay right there. Ma'am, do anything, man. All you got to do, watch this guy. If he moves, all you got to do is like that. It's not going to hurt him. It's just going to knock him out. Trust me, you're going to be A-okay.
No, I'm not okay.
Just hold this. Just hold this. I just got to get my supervisor.
I know when this happens on TV. No, because he's going to run away when you give me that.
No, he's not. No, because if he does, we have another cop coming on the way. Don't worry. We have another cop coming on the way.
I'm not going to press the button if he runs. I'm not. He can just run away. Run, go away. Hurry, run away.
It's safe. Don't let him go. Don't let him go. Don't let him go. You want me to...
I'm just gonna let him go.
No, don't. Please. I gotta go. No, please. You can do it. You can do it. Officer.
Run away, bad guy, because I'm not gonna press this button.
So you're not only not going to push the button, you're telling him, run away so I'm out of the conflict.
And I also was afraid, what if he robs me if he's a bad guy, you know?
What you don't know, and I think this is really interesting, is Jason and Cheryl are actually husband and wife. Back in 1971, Dr. Zimbardo placed newspaper ads for a mock prison experience at Stanford University.
They signed up for a study on prison life. The prisoners lived 24/7 in cells. Guards worked 8-hour shifts. Unfortunately, we created too realistic a prison too soon.
And I began to treat them as crudely as possible, as harshly as possible.
The guards got so totally into their role that after the second day, the idea that it was an experiment vanished.
I don't know how to explain it. All up inside! Out! Now!
Within 36 hours, they are cruelly punishing 9 people, and they know it's an experiment.
It's only when you play a certain role in a situation where the system puts pressure on you to use that role differently. I was shocked when we saw the release of a dozen pictures of American soldiers humiliating, torturing prisoners in Iraq, in a prison called Abu Ghraib. I wasn't surprised because I had seen similar pictures in the Stanford prison experiment. The lawyer for one of the guards, Staff Sergeant Chip Frederick, contacted me. This is a super American kid. My defense of Chip Frederick was, till the moment he stepped into that basement in Abu Ghraib, he's ideal. And in a very short time he's there, he's now doing these terrible things. Here's a classic instance of the power of the situation.
What you're saying here is that any one of us put in that situation, under those circumstances and dynamics, could have been subject to doing exactly what these guards did.
I would say almost any one of them.
If you think, yeah, I can see how I could get sucked into that, stand up. Wow.
What's really critical is never to be in the out-group, never to be rejected.
Dr. Philip Zimbardo is with us again. He is a world-famous author of The Lucifer Effect, Understanding How People Turn Evil. Now, to Dr. Phil's show, we have an advisory board, and it's made up of psychologists, sociologists, physicians. We even have a nun on our advisory board. That's a psychologist. And they are able to advise me on all the topics that we do. So if I'm doing something, I can send it out to this advisory board. They give me information on new research, their experiences whatsoever. And Dr. Zimbardo, I'm proud to say, is a member of that advisory board. He is also Professor Emeritus at Stanford University, and he's conducted some of, if not the most, famous experiments in the history of psychology. So please welcome Dr. Philip Zimbardo. All right, keep a seat, keep a seat. You've been at this a while.
Yeah, I've been creating evil for a long time.
Now, I hate to say this, but I went to school, I started college back in the late 60s, and I've had a number of your textbooks over the years. And I mean, so that was like
you were really
40 years ago. So you've been writing textbooks for a long time as well.
Yeah, I guess. I've been teaching psychology for about more than 50 years. I've been writing introductory textbooks, Psychology in Life and Core Concepts, for about 40 years.
Yeah. So have a little empathy for me. I'm getting my paper graded here by the guy. I mean, this is the guy. And we'll be right back.
Would you obey this man? He's Charlie, our actor, dressed to look like he's in charge.
Could I ask you to go the other side? Thanks. That's great. Oh, and just be on the apple, it'd be great. Give it a good old jump. 2-footed, probably best. Listen for me, please, sir.
Are we that vulnerable to a uniform? We've been talking about obeying authority, and this is a universal thing. This just doesn't happen in America.
No. The important thing about what we're trying to understand is how, in any situation, can an ordinary person, everybody says this is a good person, can go wrong, can step across that line between good and evil in what seems like ordinary circumstances. Some authority says, do this because I'm an authority. Or the group says, hey, we're all doing this. It's the right thing to do. Or you're dressed in a certain way. You're in a costume. And so that's what we're looking at, how ordinary people's behavior can be subtly shifted to end up doing really bad things in situations for them that seem not very
At the
unique.
time, it seemed like a reasonable idea. Now, we did some experiments in the last show that we had with Dr. Zimbardo. Take a look at how people in the United Kingdom reacted to a man in uniform.
Would you obey this man? He's Charlie, our actor, dressed to look like he's in charge, though he's in charge of nothing except a bogus uniform. We've brought him to Edmonton in North London, to the shopping centre, to find out exactly how obedient people are.
Excuse me, madam, sorry, could I just stop you? You're about to pass between me and the red bench. Could I just ask you to go the other side? Thanks. That's great. Oh, and just be on the apple, it'd be great. Oh, oh. Thanks very much, madam. These slabs, I couldn't just ask you to knock it down for me. You're probably heavier than I am. Can you give it a good old jump? Yeah, actually, let me move that way. Can you just jump, please? Yeah, no, 2-footed probably, best. I couldn't just ask you to litter, could I? To what? To litter. To litter? Yeah, have you got anything you could possibly quickly litter? Do you use that? It's probably all right. Okay. Yeah, could you just litter for me, please, sir? Just twice would be great. Kick it away, otherwise it won't. That's it. Give it a kick. Couldn't ask you just to pop that in your other hand, could I? Thanks, that's excellent. Could I ask you to lead with your left? Yes? And just slowly, really, basically.
It's a simple experiment, but amazingly, it works. Out of uniform, though, it's a different story.
Oh, sir, could I just ask you to switch bags with your hands? Just... You couldn't just go and just touch that brick? No?
But with the uniform, 70% of people follow Charlie's bizarre instructions to the letter.
Oh, fine. Give it one more, actually, because the wind's a bit weak. That's it. You've got my dental records here. That's proof enough that this is quality sweet corn. A bit harder, please, sir.
He's in uniform.
Stop the bag.
So they obey.
All right, now, come on, are we that vulnerable to a uniform?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, again, he's an actor, and our actor here at Dr. Phil, he looked formidable. This guy just looks like some kid, and you just put him in that uniform with a little cap on, and he gives you an order, and you want to do the right thing. The problem is, you think you're doing the right thing, even because you switch off your critical thinking. That's really the key. And he says, open your bag. I want to see what you have. Take that out. It's a piece of corn. And he starts eating your corn. And he says, now you have a dental record that is quality corn. Oh, go away. And people don't say, hey, what did you just do? I mean,
But see, here's what bothers me about this, because I worry about this with predators, and we've done shows here on stranger danger before. Because think about it. What do we tell our children? We tell our children that you respect adults, you obey adults. Right. And if somebody presents themselves to your child as an authority figure, so I'm a friend of your mother's, I'm a teacher here, I work at this store or at this mall, God forbid they showed up with some kind of uniform on, we've taught our children to follow that authority and not question that. So are we not setting them up to be prey if a predator gets them isolated and takes an authoritarian role with them to do something?
Yeah, I mean, people who are predators, and there are bad people. I mean, essentially what we're saying is, how do good people turn bad? We know there are people who are bad, who are predators. The problem is we have to train our children to be discriminative. That is to say, not all authority is wonderful. I mean, there are abusing teachers, priests, we know, etc. So teach kids, how do you discriminate between just authorities who you respect and unjust authorities who you have to revolt against?
Yeah, but exactly, how do they know that? And Robin and I always told our boys when they were growing up, If it doesn't feel right, you say no. You yell, you scream, you raise all kinds of noise. And if you're wrong, you will not get in trouble. If it's really a teacher who's trying to get you out of harm's way and you start yelling and screaming and we wind up in the principal's office, it's okay. We'd rather you be wrong and safe than to try to do the right thing and get in harm's way. I mean, I worry about this. I see that. That's crazy.
Yeah, but see, again, in this situation, you know, you stop and say, why? I mean, critical thinking simply says, if you're uncertain, if you say, why? Why should I do this? Why should I walk there? And you have to make people give you good reasons. And if not, you say, I'm not going to do it. Give me a good reason why I should. Authorities who are reasonable should tell you.
Give you answers. If
they can't give you an answer, then you rebel. You say, no way, I'm not going to do this. And then I'm going to turn them in.
Well, civilians in the UK also reacted similarly to the taser experiment. Take a look.
Charlie appears to be guarding this man. In fact, he's another actor. The gadget in his hand is homemade and harmless. But that's not what he tells this passerby.
I've got to go and get... I've not got my walkie-talkie. I've got to go and get help. Can I just hand you this? No, don't, it's just precautionary, right? Now that's... No, it's perfectly safe. If you touch it on him, it'll give him one hell of a shock. It's 40,000 volts. It'll disarm him. Beyond that, it'll... But now, if he moves...
I use this.
If he moves, you use that, right?
I won't get in trouble.
No, you won't get in trouble. You've got my word. Don't move.
Look, he's not around anymore, all right? So I'm just going to make him move, all right?
No, don't.
Look, honestly.
Half the people stopped by Charlie reacted the same way.
5 out of 10.
5 out of 10 were willing to put 40,000 volts into a stranger.
Right.
Because the guy with a hat said to.
Yeah. And it doesn't make sense. He says, I'm going to headquarters. And you don't say, what did he do? I mean, again, a woman in our experiment here wanted to know, did he do a bad thing? He said, you know, you don't even know what he did. And you're willing to shock him and kill him, maybe.
Okay, so you must really be concerned about what people are willing to do with just a little bit of influence in the wrong direction.
Yeah, yeah.
I mean, human nature is, we need to be concerned.
We're pliable. I mean, I start off with saying we are good, most people are good most of the time. But we are subject to all these pressures all around us. You know, if somebody's dressed in a certain way, in the past, we respect them and it pays off. Now somebody is dressed in the way of an authority, of a soldier, of a policeman, of a fireman. They tell us to do something that doesn't make sense, and we don't say, why do you want me to do it? We just do it. So what we're saying is, you got to be critical. You have to say, why should I do it? You know, who are you? You got to look for it. You know, just because you got a blue suit on, I want to see the identification. You're always allowed to ask any authority, I'd like to see your ID. And if they don't have an ID, time out.
Well, of course, with Photoshop and stuff today, they flip out any kind of ID that you want. But I mean, and the concern to me is, you know, parents who say, I'm afraid my kids are going to get with a bad crowd, and that bad crowd is going to influence them. And you're saying they need to be concerned about that.
Because there are good crowds who do bad things.
Next, we did our own experiment to see how easily teen girls will follow the leader just to fit in. We'll be right back.
I feel like right now you could fit in with us. Her, on the other hand, I don't feel like she fits in.
Come on, you guys. So you're saying that you're willing to bash someone else just so that you can go further?
Yeah, I'm willing to bash her because she's not trendy.
Look what happened when we took regular teen girls and put them in a competitive situation where they thought they were fighting for a spot on a TV panel of hip, cool teens.
In this demonstration, we're putting the spotlight on bullying. So you're going to be a bully. You're going to be a bully. And you're the victim. What's going to happen is 3 other unsuspecting young women are going to join your group, and you're going to start bullying her. We want to know, do they come to her aid, or do they join in with the bullies?
So we need to find out who's trendy, right? I wouldn't consider her trendy. I mean, like, you have, like,
well, I don't feel like we should be bashing her.
And, like, well, they ask for trendy people, and I don't feel like you're trendy. Like, I mean, you don't
just because
Why? You don't really have on makeup. You don't have on any jewelry.
I think when you think trendy, you think like magazine cover. I just wouldn't see like that outfit on a magazine.
We're going too far. So you're saying that you're willing to bash someone else just so that you can go further?
Yeah, I'm willing to bash her because she's not trendy and that's what they want. You really don't have to cry about it. Like, it's not necessary. We're just saying, like, you're not fashionable.
Yeah, that's
come out really rude, you guys.
It is. And I told you that in the beginning, but I think that you just are the type of person that you'll just keep going, and that's...
Can I give you a hug? Oh my God, this is so not what we...
Yeah, because honestly, that's not what she told us to do. She told us to discuss it, and you pointed out one person.
Well, that's because everybody else...
When you could have said something about everybody that you didn't like instead of pointing out one person.
No, because everybody else in here is trendy.
So y'all just want to vote now?
Yeah, let's just go ahead and vote.
Raise your hand. Jackie out.
Does everyone agree with that?
I agree.
Okay, cool.
We can be friends.
I feel like right now you could fit in with us. Her, on the other hand, I don't feel like she fits in. Like, I don't feel like she fits with trendy. I don't.
But this is not my daily attire. I wear like a t-shirt with like, I don't even know, like a superhero on it, and then jeans every day.
Well, I mean, you don't have to be in the group either. What do you think we should do? I don't think she should be in our group, but that's just me.
I agree. I don't agree. I don't. Oh, come on, you guys. I don't want to be hip and trendy if this is what hip and trendy is. Hip and trendy is just being yourself.
I think we need to make a decision.
I'm in. I'm out.
I'm in. Okay, so 3 against 2.
Okay. What do you see going on here?
Yeah, and one of the concerns we have in bullying, we all know, I mean, everybody has experience in middle school and high school, some kid or kids making some other kid's life miserable. And usually we don't do anything. We look the other way, and that's worse. That's the evil of inaction. But often we join in because we join in with the bully, not only because they're power, but we don't want to be bullied. And often all you have to do is encounter the bully and say, why are you doing this? You know, and nobody does it. So what we wanted to do is this little demonstration to see where when 2 girls start bullying another girl, who comes to her aid and who joins the bullies. And what we saw was both of these. We saw some girls who just, you know, said, I'm really sorry, give her a hug after she cries, and then say, but vote her out.
Even though it was a role play, did you get the sense that this victim, the girl playing the victim, seemed like she was kind of impacted by some of this?
I think, she was role-playing, but she was crying because people saying, you're out, you're no good. The other thing that happened, we didn't see it here, is of the 6 girls who are not actresses, regular participants, each of them had said that when they were in school, they were bullied. 3 of them started crying when they started saying, I was different, you know, nobody liked me. One of the women said, you know, I never could go to the lunchroom. I used to go to the toilet or go to the nurse's office instead of going to lunch because I knew kids were going to make fun of me. So here's so half of the girls we picked, ordinary girls, said their bullying experience was so terrible that now when they think about it, they go into tears.
Right. Well, next we're going to talk to 2 of the girls in our teen experiment who had a strong reaction to the idea of bullying a victim.
In today's society, judge so much just because of the clothes that you wear. But I feel like clothes really shouldn't define a person.
Now, Deanna, you stood up for the victim, but in the end, you did vote her off.
I can't always be everything for everybody. Right now, I have to think about me, and if this is an opportunity, I have to look out for myself.
So much drama.
We are in crisis mode here.
So many emotions.
I don't know what's real anymore.
Get ready for an unforgettable February on Dr. Phil.
You're going to meet families who have some shocking revelations.
A marriage in crisis.
There's this controlling, obsessed trust issue that he has.
Are you out of control with your jealousy?
I don't want to do this anymore.
A daughter in trouble.
Have you threatened to kill your father?
Yeah. My dad hits me brutally.
It was getting to where I was going to do something that I would regret.
You already have.
A family in turmoil.
I believe my granddaughter was molested by her father.
You have no facts. You're nothing but a liar. I'm not going to allow her to take him away from my kids.
Real people.
I'm not trying to say you're an evil person, but you are a sick person.
Real stories.
You trade nude pictures with women online, and you are offended that your wife won't be intimate with you.
Plus, updates on Dr. Phil's most popular guests.
John Clark's 3 children were abducted by their mother.
I've been waiting 15 and a half years to have a glimpse at my kids.
The girls are doing good at home.
Did she yell at you, scream at you, and physically attack you?
She did.
That's what you call the girls are doing pretty good.
And on the Dr. Phil Housewives.
In this envelope is the pictures of the hoe that my husband slept with.
Oh, God.
Get Real Tuesdays are about to get...
Ambulance right now.
Very real. Plus, the Dr. Phil family returns.
I'm told the baby is having withdrawal from Oxycontin. Were you taking drugs during the pregnancy?
The most remarkable guests.
You're saying out loud what a lot of women say privately.
The most memorable stories.
You don't want to miss any of the great shows. That, I guarantee you, you will never forget.
Unforgettable February on Dr. Phil.
Dr. Zimbardo conducted an experiment for us with teen girls to see if they would follow the lead of 2 bullies picking on one victim. So we had 3 actresses here. 2 of them were going to bully the 3rd one. So the bullying was all structured ahead of time. Now, Deanna and Mary both had strong reactions to the experiment. Mary, what was your reaction? What was your, because you had a strong and verbal response.
You know, I feel like the girls were really power hungry. All they wanted to do was be on the show for being hip and trendy, which I don't really understand where hip and trendy comes from. Who decides what is hip and what is trendy? And so that kind of got me really worked up because people in today's society judge so much just because of the clothes that you wear. But I feel like clothes really shouldn't define a person.
So you took yourself out.
Yeah.
You just said, I'm out. Don't even consider me, I'm out.
Yes.
All right, because you just said, I don't want to be... If this is what it is, that's out. Now, Deanna, you stood up for the victim.
I did.
But in the end, you did vote her off.
I did. I felt like under the time that they gave us, they told us that we only had about 5 minutes. I think naturally I have a defending personality, but I feel like at that moment we wanted fame so bad, and I was willing to do it just to vote her off just because. But I feel like what I learned out of this experience was people want to be famous without success first. And yesterday, we did nothing to show that we really wanted it. All we did was we said what we had, what we wore, who we were, but we didn't even let Jackie, who the actor was, we didn't even let her speak. Right. So I feel like we never gave her a fair opportunity. I feel like if I was to win, I still feel like after this is over, I'm going to make sure I give her a chance because I voted under pressure. Not really what I wanted to do, but I still feel like I defended her enough.
But you felt the pressure.
I did, because they only gave us 5 minutes, and I feel like, okay, well, I can't always be everything for everybody. Right now I have to think about me, and if this is an opportunity, I have to look out for myself right now, which when it was over, I cried because I felt like, wow, I became someone who I really not am.
And you were bullied in high school, right?
I wouldn't say bullied, I would say...
Rejected.
Kind of. Most of my friends were older. When I was in the 9th grade, most of all of my cousins and my friends were sophomores and juniors. So when they graduated and I was a sophomore, I had to kind of fit in where I could. I had to find friends, and some friends, because I wasn't speaking to them when I was in the 9th grade, and my friends and my family were older, they didn't really accept me, so I had to kind of make my own group, which I didn't want to, but I had to because I was not accepted. I was not I would say trendy, but I wasn't the average girl. I wasn't afraid to talk about sports. I wasn't afraid to wear my hair in an afro. I wasn't afraid to be me, which wasn't always acceptable.
Well, this little microcosm here is what your kids are dealing with every day, because they're trying to find the group to fit into, whether it's the cool kids or the sports or the whatever it is, or the druggies, whatever. And that's why it's so important for you to help them feel special about who they are, because if they feel special, they have that self-worth, that self-esteem, they're not going to give their power away to anybody, let alone some kids that are trying to manipulate them. All right, go to drphil.com right now to see if you are vulnerable to negative social influences. Now, you're going to answer a series of questions to find out if you are at risk. And you can answer these for yourself. You can answer them for your kids as well. And then you let them answer them, see if they match the insights. Now, next, we're going to talk about how people who have done bad things can turn their lives around. We'll be right back.
I joined the gang when I was 16. I was involved in drive-bys. I robbed people. I've done home invasions.
You go to church in the morning and go rob somebody at gunpoint in the afternoon.
Pretty much. It actually was a very hard decision for me to come here today because my life is in danger just for being here.
What's remarkable about history is ordinary people doing extraordinary things. Rosa Parks passed away, and I remember sitting on this stage with world leaders and thinking we were all paying homage to a seamstress who had transformed the country and helped transform the world. We never know sort of how our actions are going to ripple over time. We may surprise ourselves with the amount of influence that in fact we have just by standing up or speaking up.
Well, that was President Obama talking about how ordinary people can become heroes. Now, Dr. Zimbardo says bad people can also heroically turn their lives around. Now, one former gang member knows this all too well. Take a look.
My name is Chris, and I joined the gang when I was 16. I joined because I wanted to be respected. As a gang member, I started dealing drugs. You name it, I had it. From then, I graduated selling weapons, firearms, automatics, whatever you wanted, I could get it. I even sold it to kids. I was involved in drive-bys, stolen cars, I've been involved in stabbings. I've been cut on my legs. I've been shot at on 5 different occasions, but I've never been hit. I've robbed people. I've done home invasions. I went to jail twice. By the time I was 21, I had been to 18 funerals. All of my friends who had been involved in the gang. It wasn't worth it, but that's how it was.
16, you got involved in this. Yeah. What was your motive at the time?
Honestly, the reason I joined, I was 16. I was always small. I used to get picked on a lot. You know, I had braces, glasses. I was considered a nerd. I was in Boy Scouts, ROTC. I was in the school orchestra, stuff like that. And I used to get...
That made you on the outs?
Yeah, that wasn't really accepted
cool.
at that age in high school. You know, that's not really the cool thing to do. And the reason I joined, you know, I got picked on and I needed protection. That's how I felt.
Oh, so the gang gave you protection first?
Right. I saw it as money, power, respect. You know, I wanted the cars.
Money, power, respect.
Yeah.
Dynamite
so
Trio.
How much money are we talking about? At any given time, how much money would you have?
Well, when I joined the gang, I started off, you know, I wanted to rise to the top, basically. So anything they wanted, I did. I was always down. So I started as a drug dealer. You know, I would sell drugs. Started off with marijuana.
Then you moved on to cocaine, heroin?
The way I can put it is I know what 500,000 cash feels like.
500,000?
Yeah.
In your hand?
Even at that young age, in a really poverty-stricken area, that kind of money is flowing. What made you, because that is very seductive, you know, the money, the power, the acceptance, all of that. What was it that lured you out of that?
Well, the thing is, my parents, they never even knew I was in a gang until I was in there actively for at least 3 years before they even knew I had a tattoo. And I managed to hide it. I was kind of living a double life because I'm from Los Angeles. I was born, that's where I was, you know, doing my thing, but that's not where I lived. And I was like going to school, doing all this stuff. You know, I ended up graduating with a 3.8. You know, I did really well in school, and I always knew, you know, I went to church and all that.
While you were doing all this, you're still going to church?
Yeah, I was...
You're going to school?
I was doing the right thing, and the weekend...
And the wrong thing?
I would be with the bad influence. Even after church, an hour after church, I'd be up in L.A., you know. So,
So you go to church in the morning and go rob somebody at gunpoint in the afternoon?
And sell drugs to kids in the evening?
Pretty much.
Why are you not doing this anymore?
The thing that really got to me, I mean, I've been to jail a couple times now. You know, the first time I went to jail, which I don't discuss why I went to jail. The only thing I can say is I had 8 charges against me.
8?
My bail was $247,000.
and I was facing 4 years prison time. That's the first time that I picked up the Bible and started reading, and was kind of a turning point for me. But then that time I got out, that time I was in jail for a month, and when I got out, I did well for a few months, and then I started getting back with the same people. It was nothing. I would talk about changing to my parents. I would see my parents. They'd come visit me. The other thing that really got to me was seeing my mom, not being able to touch her on the other side of the glass, and that really gets me emotional when I see my mom cry. Like, no matter how hard I try, I always break down. And but like I said, I got out, and I didn't change anything, really. The main thing was the peer pressure of the people I was with.
You got seduced right back in.
Yes, because I said I wanted to change, but when I got out, I didn't change the people, places, things, So it was so easy for me to the peer pressure just got me right back in.
But now you're not doing that at all anymore.
No, not at all.
What was the transformation, finally, from being a gang member, a gangbanger? I mean, he's gone further than just quitting the gang. You help kids to get out of gangs or prevent them from going in.
Yeah, so now, the first time, like I said, I got out, I kind of did the same thing, and then I turned to alcohol, really. I became an alcoholic. As a matter of fact, my nickname in the gang was Alcoholic. I've had my first taste of alcohol at a very young age, and, I have it tattooed across my back. It says Alcoholic.
Really?
That's what I was known for. I was drinking a bottle of tequila straight in the night, and
every night?
Urinating blood, and I didn't care. And so I was destroying my body. After I got out of the gang, my drinking increased. For me, it was like numbing the pain. I started having remorse for things I've destroyed families, pretty much. And the drinking just numbed all that. And a lot of people don't understand alcoholics, but for me, that's the only thing I had at that point. And then the second time I went to jail, which is, I was already out of the gang. The first time I got out of jail, I dropped out of the gang, and it was a very hard decision for me to come here today because my life is in danger just for being here. I'm actually green lighted, which is pretty much means I'm a dropout. I left them. I got my gang tattoo lasered off out of my own pocket, and so I'm very careful of what I do. For a while I was sleeping with a gun under my pillow. I was very paranoid. Still today I can't go in public. I look over my shoulder and be worried about retaliation. But
why are you willing to come here and expose yourself?
The way I see it is, somebody has to stand up because gangs are always going to be around. That's the way I feel. The youth, they look up to the younger people. The foundation I work with now in San Diego, the TKF Foundation, I go do like motivational speeches throughout San Diego County from 6th through 12th grade. And that's pretty much if I just help one person, that's what keeps me doing it, because when I was that age, people had come to my school and talked about things, but at that age, you don't want to hear someone that's the same age as your parents telling you what to do. You want to rebel. And I feel like being so young still, to have gone through that change.
Well, and you tried to help your friend get out of the gang, and he was killed, right?
Yeah, similar situation to me. I had a friend that was also in the gang, someone who I was actually close to in the gang. He tried to get out in this past February. He had been talking about it, but he never changed who he was with and all that. So he was still in LA doing the same things, trying to ease his way out. But I was telling him how life is, how much better it could be and all that. And he was shot in the back of the head. He had the gang tattoo on the back of his head, and that really got to me. The thing that really disappointed me, at first, of course, I'm gonna have the anger, but I can't react the way I would have prior to my change.
Revenge.
Right.
We'll be right back. We talked about how good people can do bad things, but then you can also choose a completely different path. And Dr. Zimbardo has created the Heroic Imagination Project with a goal to teach people that anyone can become an everyday hero. And it is, you say that heroism is the ultimate antidote to evil.
Yeah. What we're trying to do with the Heroic Imagination Project is make people aware that anyone can be a hero. Heroes are ordinary people. It's the heroic act that's extraordinary. And so essentially we want to teach young people how to be wise and effective heroes. So we have a website we'll have out where we actually teach you how to resist the negative influences, how to inspire to be a hero like people like you, your age, your background, and then how can we teach you to be wise and effective as a hero.
So define hero for us.
A hero is somebody who puts his best self or her best self forward in service to humanity, helping somebody in need, aware of the potential cost or risk to your life. So with him, it's a potential risk to his life. But if you're a whistleblower, you can get fired, you can lose your career. And you do it without expectation of a gain. And so heroes really are special. What they do is special and unique. And the concept of hero in our culture really has been watered down. A celebrity's a hero, an athlete's a hero. Say, no. In order to be a hero, you have to do something for someone else. You have to make somebody else's life better by your giving service to them. It's more than altruism. It's altruism with action. With action.
Yeah. Well, you can get more information on heroicimagination.org, and we're going to have a link at drphil.com. So you can go there, click on it straight away. And you can go to drphil.com right now and find out if you are on the path to becoming an everyday hero. This is a great conversation starter with your kids. You can answer a series of questions to find out if you're on your way or already are behaving like an everyday hero. And to sit down with your kids and talk about this, how they answer these questions, it's a great way to get a dialogue started. We'll be right back. I want to thank all of my guests today, and a special thanks to Dr. Philip Zimbardo, author of The Lucifer Effect, Understanding How Good People Turn Evil. And as I said, this is a book that you want to read. Go to drphil.com. We really want to hear what you think about all of this, and we're going to have details on his Heroic Imagination project at drphil.com. It is a great thing to do with your kids and for yourself as well. Now, if you want to send me your comments, you can email me at drphil.com, or you can visit my blog at blog.drphil.com, or you can send me a tweet via Twitter. Thanks for being here. So long. Thank you, everybody. Thanks, guys.
All-new Dr. Phil.
I'm going to fill those two chairs right now with two scorned wives.
The mistresses and wives come face to face.
You're having an affair with a married man.
I'm not proud of it.
Why would you go do that to another woman?
You don't have the right to destroy somebody's family.
You sat there and said it's 50% the wife's fault.
It's 50% the husband, 50% the other woman.
And it gets personal.
Look her in the eye. You had a family, and because he wanted to be with somebody else, you're in the ditch.
My family was destroyed by the person I trusted the most in this world.
She has said she would do it again.
Then,
your husband is here.
The day he found all the emails, he let my little boy read them to know his mother was a whore.
A scorned husband weighs in.
You guys all sound like you're the victim. You're not the victim.
Are you still mad at her?
Definitely. I still can't trust her.
Why did you do it?
I guess I thought I could get away with it. I didn't feel you loved me anymore.
That's an excuse.
It's lying. It's deceiving. The bottom line is, it's cheating.
And now, Inside the Mind of a Mistress continues.
Now, before I bring out the scorned wives who've been listening backstage, let's first find out what these mistresses would say to their married men's wives if they had a chance to meet them. Take a look.
If I was confronted by the married man's wife, I would give her examples of the things that he said to me, such as, I love you, I don't love my wife, I want to be with you, you are my dream.
If his wife was meeting his needs at home sexually, I really doubt
that he would be in my bed when he is.
They're just there for the taking.
She's allowing him to just run him up.
What I wanted to say to the married man's wife was, obviously you're not taking care of him at home. You need to do what you got to do, or he wouldn't be looking. So wake up, smell the coffee.
In my particular situation, the wife is using the children as a buffer, and the intimacy level has dropped off considerably. And that would be like saying her withholding intimacy is not right.
Who are you to be grading some guy's wife's paper? Who are you to be passing judgment on her and what's going on? You don't know what happens behind closed doors.
You're right, I don't. And it's not my concern. After spending many, many months after my marriage fell apart, figuring it all out, I was 50% responsible for my marriage falling apart, and my husband was 50% responsible.
My married man's wife is the complete opposite of me. Complete opposite.
So is my married man. She's a lot older than him. I'm full life, bouncy. She's not.
Exactly.
I'm the total opposite. And I don't know if that's what attracted him to me.
Don't you worry that if he did leave and he went with you, and okay, now you've got 3 kids, so every other weekend they're coming, or you know, blah 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 blah, all of that going on, and now you're sharing time, space, energy, money, efforts, all of that. Then how many times do you think you go out and get in the back seat?
We probably wouldn't have
How many times do you think you would have that
to...
amazing kiss that just left you just tingling to your fingertips?
I understand.
That night you wanted to do it again when you got in the driveway, right? But somebody else was there.
Well, no, my phone was just blowing up, and it was my ex-husband wondering where I was at.
So you were ready to go again.
Oh, yeah. I mean, it's been, definitely the sexual part of it, but it's been a lot emotional, too. But, yeah, and I know, and I've thought that through, that, and there are times whenever I felt like he's been close to leaving, although I know now, the pattern, the vicious cycle. I told my married man, I said, the only way I feel you're ever going to do anything is if you get caught, she kicks you out, and then what am I? The consolation prize. Not going to be the consolation prize. But I'm letting myself be the side dish.
You think you're the only affair he's had?
He led me to believe that he had never been unfaithful ever in his marriage.
Are you the only one in...
Absolutely not. He told me how many affairs he had had. It still didn't register. It didn't register.
You think you're special, don't you? I do, too.
I did. I thought it was special, and I thought I was it. And even though he told me he had an affair for 10 years before that, and then a little brief one before that, or probably stragglers in between, but when you're in that moment, you don't think about that. You don't think about anything.
What do you think about it now that we're talking about it in the bright light of day? I mean, you're the current
That
affair.
I was a gullible son of a gun. That how I could lower myself to such a standard.
But she still went to a website looking for married men.
And not think good of myself, because I didn't.
And you've walked up on yours with a 21-year-old, right?
Yes, yes.
So you're under no delusion that you're it, right?
No, he's a playboy. I'm sure he has several women. That's why I rarely see him at this point.
Did it bother you when you saw him with that 21-year-old?
It was more embarrassing because I had one of my best friends with me, and it was on Valentine's Day. So yeah, it was more embarrassing than anything.
Are you the only one?
I don't know.
You're Fridays.
Not every Friday.
But you're on Fridays. It's always Friday, right? So he could have a Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Saturday, or Sunday. You don't know.
I don't know, but I think that he doesn't because he's very involved with his kids.
I'm going to fill those 2 chairs right now with 2 wives that have been cheated on by women like yourselves. They're not the wives of your married men, but they are wives of married men who have been through this, and I want to hear their point of view. They've got questions for you, comments. You can ask questions and comments, so let's bring them out.
Coming up.
What do y'all think about what you've been watching?
You sat there and said it's 50% the wife's fault.
No, it's not. It's 50% the other woman's fault.
Yeah, it's
50% the husband, 50% the other woman.
If you know he's married, hey, you're married. You're off limits. Get back.
Tomorrow. The Dr. Phil family returns.
Was that your truck that was just pulling away?
No, it was not my truck.
This is Alexandra's truck parked in front of the meth house.
Did you go 68 days without seeing your children?
I'm not going to answer that.
It's a little hard to be self-righteous when you have 3 children, you have custody of none of them. I want you off the drugs. If you're not going to do this, I am done with you. Done.
Then on Friday, a mother accused of extreme neglect.
Your daughter drank bleach from a sippy cup. She's had a book bag with maggots and mold.
I'm being the best mom that I can be.
That's Friday. We now return to inside the mind of a mistress.
I thought my husband and I had a wonderful marriage.
We were very happy for 16 years of our marriage, and then she appeared.
I confronted my husband, and he denied it. Told me I was crazy, that there was nothing going on.
He explained to me that they would get in her car and they would have sex. To find out that he had this whole other life, this whole secret life, it sucked the life out of me.
If I had the opportunity to come across this woman that ruined my family, I would punch her dead in the face.
So let's bring them out. Let's add them to the mix here. Hi.
Hi.
Dr. Phil.
Sue.
Sue?
Hi. Dana.
Dana, how are you?
Good, how are you?
You guys have been watching the entire show, right?
Yep.
From monitors backstage.
Mm-hmm.
What do y'all think about what you've been watching? What you've been hearing?
I mean, you sat there and said it's 50% the wife's fault.
No, it's not. It's
the other woman's
fault.
Yeah, it's 50% the husband, 50% the other woman. Why would you go do that to another woman?
I didn't go do it to another woman.
No, but you're having an affair with a married man, right?
I realize that. I realize I'm doing that to another woman. I'm not proud of it.
If you know he's married, he's off limits, dude. Hey, you're married. You're off limits. Get back. Go away.
We had a great marriage, and he threw it all away over a 25-year-old girl who doesn't even speak English.
Well, and I've always worked with men. Always worked with men. I get along better with men than women, and I have never, ever thought about cheating on my husband.
Not every single marriage is a true, sacred, respectable on both ends. And this situation, no, what I'm saying is, some people have open marriages. So if a woman allows her husband.
His wife doesn't think she's in.
Well, if she, no, I think she's not naive.
But if he has an open marriage or not, do you want to be involved in that?
No, I don't. That's why I'm trying to
walk away. Just walk away. You don't.
Right now.
Do you want to be the one that's screwing up their marriage?
I mean, of course not.
Now, you can dress it up with all the psychobabble you want. You can give it all of the spin that you want. But the bottom line is, it's cheating. Mm-hmm. It's cheating. It's lying. It's deceiving. And it's all because it makes you feel good at the time. It makes you feel good at the time, and there's so much immaturity to say, you know what, this isn't right, but I don't care because I'm selfish and this is about me and it feels good right now. So the hell with the kids, the hell with the wives, the hell with the husband. It feels good to me now. It's my turn. Screw them. I mean, you dress it up what you want, but I mean, bottom line, it's not quite as noble as we're all describing it here. What do you have to say to these women? These are women that, based on results, would cheat with your husbands.
When you first came on, it's a very pretty young girl. She obviously has it all together, and you started telling the story, and I said, she's being bought. She's being bought. And people who are bought that are women are considered hookers.
From your perspective, do you think, since I believe this is over between him and I, do you think, would you want to know, would you want a call from me to let her know what her...
I can guarantee you she knows. Yeah. I can guarantee you she knows. And she's gotten those emails. You said nobody knows. Baloney. I got news for you. Everybody knows. They're just not telling you. Mm-hmm. They know.
Do this for me. Just for me. Look her in the eye. Now, what was done to you? You're saying that you had a family, you had a husband, you had kids, and because he wanted to get, because he wanted to be with somebody else, now your whole family is financially disintegrating. You're in the ditch. Look at her and finish this sentence for me. You don't have the right.
You don't have the right to destroy somebody's family and somebody's life. I have wonderful, wonderful kids that I would die for. But I also feel like I'm dying because of what happened. Because my family was destroyed by the person I trusted the most in this world.
She has said she would do it again. She'll do another woman the same way you've been done.
Coming up.
All of you I see are making sort of excuses and lies. I'm not making excuses.
You're going to have to quit being a second fiddle to some guy that is blowing smoke up your and telling you what you want to hear.
And later.
Your husband is here.
Yes.
I want him to join us.
So why did you go do it?
I am so angry I can't see straight.
I told you I hated you, and I do hate you.
Dr. Phil, I know I'm failing. It can't continue the way that it is.
Your daughter drank bleach from a sippy cup. She's had lice. She's had a book bag with maggots and mold.
I'm being the best mom that I can be.
I don't see that this baby gets any discipline. The baby is wild.
The baby is 16 months.
Gina is so determined to make her 16-year-old daughter a model that she has her doing chores in high heels.
This is her dream, but I'm motivating her.
You can't be serious. You bullied your cousin with Down syndrome and kicked her in the back?
She is disgusting. Have you seen her?
And for the first time ever on Dr. Phil.
The triple intervention on three brothers.
I understand that all you want to do is get out of this situation, but we're here to help.
I accept it.
There's nothing left to hold on to. Stand strong.
I don't want you in my life anymore.
Doesn't the legacy of anger have to stop?
This world will let you down.
Now, in talking to you, I realize I need to be a hero for my daughter.
You will pull through. You will pull through.
This is going to be a changing day in your life.
All this May on Dr. Phil. We now return to Inside the Mind of a Mistress.
There's tons of disadvantages of being a mistress. I won't be able to have children with him.
You can't even just pick up the phone and call them.
Society sees that as wrong, and the judgment that goes along with that.
You see them in public. You can't walk up and grab their hand.
I won't grow old and die with him.
You hurt a lot of people that you never intended to hurt.
People just typically view mistresses as all being heartless, greedy vultures.
Every mistress gets caught.
This is Sarah Simons. You may have seen her on the show before. She is an author. She actually has a support group for mistresses. And can we refer to you as a former mistress?
Big time, especially with your help. I'm still very much former. No more married men for me ever again.
But that wasn't always your MO.
I know what goes on inside the mind of a mistress. Since my 20s and into my 30s, I was living as a mistress. I've had affairs with married men. Some of them were high profile, some of them were celebrities. When I found out that they were married, it didn't really bother me. I met a man who I fell completely in love with. He was very sweet to me. He made me feel so special. For such a busy guy, he always found so much time for me, and it was very intoxicating. He told me that he was unhappily married. He was planning to move out. He was sleeping in the spare room. It was a roller coaster ride for 2.5 years, and it absolutely crucified me how it ended. It was so awful. I wanted to take my own life. As the other woman, you're cast aside. It's almost like you don't matter. He's stringing you along and lying to you, and then when it comes to an end, it's like you didn't matter. You were just used by him. When I was lucky enough to come on the show previously, Dr. Phil said something that really resonated with me.
I have said chapter and verse, the man that makes the decision to violate the covenant and tell lies, that does not give you a free pass.
Through being on the Dr. Phil show, I've really taken accountability for my actions. I had to help other women. I was compelled not only to have them live in the truth and realize that having an affair with a man who's married comes to nothing, but I didn't want them to go through the immense pain I was feeling. I'm determined not to let anybody treat me badly anymore.
How did it end for you in such an ugly way that you got your heart broken?
Because the man I was in love with, and I mean totally in love with, wanted a life with him, and he professed to want the same with me. He didn't tell me his true situation in the beginning, and during the course of our affair, which lasted for about 2.5 years, I stupidly watched him sort of move to another home with his wife and do all the things that married men do, and I kept making excuses for him, and I was manipulated, you know, I was living a very toxic life just to try and get through the times till I would see him again. He was a very intelligent man, he was a lot older than me, he didn't have to lie to me, he was a con man really. And it took me to hit a wall of pain. And when I hit that wall of pain, I just knew I had to make some changes, or probably I wouldn't even be here today, quite frankly. It was that bad for me.
Why did you make the change?
And I realized I really was just helping him in his marriage, unwittingly. Because he would even say to me, Sarah, because of you, I'm able to be a better father and husband at home. And I was so far in denial at the time, I would think, you know, whilst I'm crying and drinking too much and just completely a mess, I would think, wow, I'm helping the man I love be a better father and husband. How cool is that? I never put my own thoughts first. I never put my own, what I wanted first. So I just went through this transient lifestyle, and now I'm 41 and I'm trying to have people, I want all women not to waste the same, you know, 11 or 12 years living this kind of life that I did.
You've been watching and seeing what's going on with these 4 women, having been in the same situation in one way or another. Every situation is different. Everything has a different element to it. Do these women need to get out?
Oh my God, run, don't walk, run, get out, get out, get out. That's my message. Please get out.
I've said many, many times the difference between winners and losers is winners do things losers just don't want to do. Winners do things losers just don't have the energy, the commitment to get up and do. Because you got to make a decision. If I want what I want, I got to do what I have to do to get it. Now, if your marriage is dead and it's over, I'm sorry. I don't know if it is or it should be, or if you did what you needed to do to earn your right to get out of it. But if it's over and you ever want to have a fully functioning life again, then you're going to have to quit being a second fiddle to some guy that is blowing smoke up your and telling you what you want to hear and going home and telling her what she wants to hear. And that's exactly what Sarah's saying.
Exactly. And all of you, I see, are making sort of excuses and lies, not only for him, but for your own behaviour.
I'm not making excuses.
Just rots you to your core, and you end up with nothing in the end.
Coming up.
Your husband is here.
Yes. The day he found all the emails, he let my little boy read them to know his mother was a whore.
You involved him in this. You used him.
I felt deceived, felt cheated. He thought I was going to kill her.
And later.
You guys all
And
sound
you
like
know
you're
what?
the victim.
You
You're
know
not
what?
the victim.
I know you're all high and mighty because you left your first wife.
You're no better than anyone else.
We now return to Inside the Mind of a Mistress.
My wife had an affair. I felt deceived. I felt cheated. I felt used. Completely blindsided. I was checking my emails, and I clicked on my user screen, and up popped a screen name that I didn't recognize. It happened to be my wife's emails to her lover. When I read that email, I was very, very angry and upset and cried. I called her up. I told her I found out that you're having an affair. I said, you better come home and talk to me. She was scared to death. I didn't see her for 2 days. She thought I was going to kill her. Beth told me she had to see doctors. Come to find out that she wasn't doing that. She was actually going out on her rendezvous with her lover. She lied to me many, many, many times. I found out who the other man was by tricking my wife. She gave me the guy's name. Went over there and talked to his wife and told him what was going on. And he came out and told me I had no right being there. My wife blamed me for breaking the two of them up. It was my fault that they didn't get a chance to say their goodbyes. What gives her the right to have a lover and say goodbye? You know, it's very hard to trust someone after what she did. We don't make love. We argue constantly. My heart's still broken. No way I can take another affair.
Your husband is here.
Yes.
I want him to join us. I want to talk to him in this group right now. Rich, Dr. Phil.
Nice to meet you.
How you doing?
Good.
Good to meet you. Have a seat.
Thank you.
Okay, I got a problem with this at many different levels, but we can talk about that in a minute to maybe kind of create a bit of a to-do list. Why are you still with her when she's done what she's done?
I still love her. She's my wife. I've been with her for 16 years, known her for 17 years. She's the mother of my child, and I still love her. And I still want this marriage to work.
You do want it to work?
Yes, I do.
Do you want it to work because she started slipping away, or do you want it to work because you really love her? Because sometimes men can be like a dog with a bone. It's like the bone can lay in the backyard and the dog doesn't even look at it till another dog comes in and pays attention to it, and now the dog's willing to fight to the death to protect that bone. Because she says that the fire had gone out in this marriage, that you spent so much time belittling her and putting her down that it didn't sound very loving. Did that change? Did you get a wake-up call by what she did, or is she just saying that to justify her bad choices?
That's an excuse. I don't know where the fire went to. If the fire went away, it's not just my fault. She's part of the marriage, too. Mm-hmm. If she had to go somewhere else and find something else, then it's a two-way street. You know, I don't know why she said the fire went out.
You cheated with her.
I cheated when I first met her. I was married for 22 years to my first wife, and I met her at my job, and we got to know each other, and we had an affair. But I left my first wife. I didn't stick around and have her as a mistress. I left my first wife because I was in love with her. Mm-hmm. So I got out of that marriage. I left a 13-year-old daughter that hated me for years after that. Mm-hmm. But she's come around now, and she understands what happened in my first marriage. Mm-hmm. But my son, I don't think, is ever going to understand what she did.
The day he found all the emails, he let my little boy read them to know his mother was a whore.
My son was standing behind me when I was sitting at the desk crying, reading the emails. Told him, I says, Mom's been seeing another man. And my son got very, very, very angry. He actually took my wife's clothes out of her closet and threw them down the stairs.
My husband had no right to tell our son about any of this. I've never despised a man more than I despised him after he did that to my son. I hate him.
Did you do the right thing in letting him read those emails and know what had happened here?
I don't know if it was the right thing or not, but I was angry at the time, and I wanted somebody to get back at her. So I said, you know, read the emails. Here's what your mother did. Your mother's been sleeping around with some guy.
So you said you were very prideful in that tape, it seemed to me, when you said that he was so upset that he threw her clothes out.
He was very, very angry.
And you were glad that he was?
I was glad. I was glad he threw her clothes down the stairs and threw her suitcase down there and told her not to come home. And he was angry. We were both angry.
I've been doing this a long time, and I have two rules that I really try to adhere to when dealing with kids, particularly in these kind of situations. Number one, you never ask a child to be involved in adult issues. Mm-hmm. And you never get a child involved in something over which they have absolutely no control. Because that is a helpless feeling for a child. And they are not equipped mentally, emotionally, physiologically, even neurologically, to deal with adult issues. They're not. And you victimized him. Both of you have. You victimized him by what you did and the bad choices you made.
Yes, I did.
And when you involved him in this, you used him.
Yeah.
You used him to bolster your feelings.
I used him to get back at her.
At her, and that's a terrible exploitation of a child. And you both owe this young man a sincere apology. You know, there are two different levels of issues in this situation. One is the infidelity. You have absolutely no credibility whatsoever. There's no justification for you going out and having an affair like this. It's just wrong. You may have very legitimate complaints about this guy on the marital front, but what you've done is an illegitimate response to what may be legitimate complaints. If you've got legitimate complaints with him, then deal with it.
That's what he had told me. If you would have just came and talked to me, if you would have told me how you felt. But the time that I did this, I didn't think he even loved me. I didn't even think he cared about me.
Well, that was then, this is now. I can't tell you.
And you never came and talked to me. Never came and talked to me. Never said a word.
Nope.
Are you still mad at her?
Definitely. Still angry. I still can't trust her. Well, I want to know
But
why you went out and did it.
We got distant. We barely talk.
How do you answer that question? Let's just ask the question. Why did you do it? Have you answered that question to him?
Because I didn't feel you loved me anymore.
That's an excuse. You went
No,
out because
I
you had a lot of good times. You had fun. He could treat you nice. He took you places that I couldn't do that because I didn't have a job. I didn't have the money. So I couldn't do the things that he could do. He had a good job. He has a nice home. He can go places and hide it all. So why did you go do it?
Coming up.
I walk by my husband butt naked, and he doesn't even realize I'm walking by him, for Christ's sakes. I'm here in thongs and panties. Hello?
Plus. This one's getting paid for whatever. I don't know.
I'm not getting paid
You're getting
for
paid.
whatever.
You're getting paid.
We now return to Inside the Mind of a Mistress.
My wife had an affair. It's very hard to trust someone after what she did. My heart's still broken. No way I could take another affair. You went out because you had a lot of good times. You had fun. He could treat you nice. He took you places that I couldn't do that because I didn't have a job. I didn't have the money. So I couldn't do the things that he could do. He had a good job. He has a nice home. He can go places and hide it all. So why did you go do it?
I guess I thought I could get away with it.
She wanted to be married, but she wanted to have the single life. That's what she wanted. She wanted to have fun.
Which is usually the flip side, isn't it?
And you're all the same way. You all want to have fun. That's what you're looking for. You're looking for the excitement out there. This one's getting paid for whatever. I don't know.
I'm not getting paid.
You're getting
for
paid.
whatever.
You're getting paid.
Number one, I'm not married. I'm not married. Number one.
So what are you
okay?
doing? The other guy is married, though.
That's his thing. That's what I just said to Dr. Phil when I first sat down. If you were listening, I'm trying to distance myself completely from that. I know it's wrong.
But you
okay?
still take the money.
I have a conscience.
You still take the money.
If he wants to give it, I was taking the money. I still have my own money. The little he gives me, I make a lot more than that on my own.
My ex-husband did the same thing. Showed my 10-year-old son text messages, all that, just to totally.
Well, why did he show? Because your ex-husband was angry. Because he was angry,
he's an
right?
idiot.
Because he found out about what you were doing.
Because he's an immature idiot, and that's why I divorced him.
Yeah. Well, that was like a spur-of-the-moment thing that I did that, and I'm sorry I did that.
That is completely.
You guys all sound like you're the victims. You're not the victims.
You know what? My kids.
You sound like you're the victims.
It will not make them turn against me. It will make them turn against him. I can promise you, you will pay for that.
You did cheat on your first wife, though, you said. So you're no better than anyone else.
I left my first wife.
Okay, but you cheated on her before you left her.
I cheated on my first wife, and I left my first wife.
So now you're okay. Now you're all high and mighty because you left your first wife for someone else. You ended up marrying your mistress.
Well, they're just saying you're no better than them. Don't judge them when you did the same things. What they're telling you, right? I mean, you admit that, right?
Yeah,
you did cheat.
I admit that.
What do you want to see happen in this?
I want my marriage to come back to where it was 3-4 years ago.
And you have every right to be hurt, but you don't have every right to be hurtful. Mm-hmm. And you've been hurtful to your son, and you're being hurtful to her now. You're not going to anger her back into this relationship. You're not going to intimidate her back into this relationship. Is there something you need to hear from her?
I just want to know how I can trust her again. I don't know how I can do that.
You can't trust her right now. You can't trust her.
No,
because she has been hurt in this, and she made a really bad decision. But it felt good in comparison to what she had at home. And as a result, it is tempting to think you want to do it again.
I want him to tell me, that I'm his world, that he loves me, that he appreciates the things I do. He doesn't have to say it every day. Just acknowledge me. There was a point in our marriage that I walked by my husband butt naked, and he doesn't even realize I'm walking by him, for Christ's sakes. And it's like, hello, I'm here in thongs and panties, hello. And he didn't even acknowledge I was there. I just want to feel wanted, needed. That's what I want.
You understand that what you did to get that was wrong.
It is
right?
dead
Do
wrong.
you get that?
Yes, I do get that.
You understand that? And,
yes.
and you can go do that again, but you're just on self-destruct if you do.
I'm on meltdown if I do that again because I can't do that to my little boy.
If you want out of the marriage, you earn your way out of it, and you do that by turning over every stone looking for solutions. And you know when you're through, when you're ready to get divorced, when you have no unfinished emotional business. And you two have lots of unfinished emotional business. You're not ready to get a divorce yet. You haven't done the work. Do you miss him?
Yes, I do.
Have you ever told him that you miss the man that he was?
Yes, I have.
And what does he say?
I don't know what you're talking about. I'm the same person, but he's not. We used to have a good connection, and I don't know where it got lost.
Do you want it?
I want it. I want my family back.
Do you want it?
Yes, I do. And I want it with my son. I want us to be a family.
You're the one that made the bad choice.
Absolutely.
You're the one that ran this off in the ditch, okay? And you know how long you work on it?
Thank you.
You work on it until. You don't work on it a week. You don't work on it a month. You work on it until.
So it's fixed.
You work on it until you get it out of the ditch and back up on the road. And you do that by becoming totally transparent. That's how you learn to trust her again, because at that point, you begin to build a new history. You didn't cheat on him yesterday. That's one day. You didn't cheat on him tomorrow. That's 2 days. Pretty soon you have a history that predicts a future that you can live with. And you have the integrity to say, Rich, I will never, ever cheat on you again. If I want out, I will come to you and tell you I want out, but I will not sneak out. I will walk out the front door with my head held high and everything in my hands, but I will not go out the back door to meet somebody else. You owe that to him. And you got to make a decision. Because of what she has done, that is not a license for you to be abusive with her. That is not and you can be verbally abusive, you can be physically abusive, you can be emotionally abusive. That is not a license for you to become abusive with her and cut her and belittle her and demean her at every turn. If you're going to do that, then you need to walk out the door. This is not a life sentence. People can kill people and not get a life sentence. I will get you some marital counseling that will help you reconstruct this on a day-to-day basis. I will provide that to you, and we will do that if you would like. You don't have to, but I'll make it available to you if you want to do it.
Yes, please.
What are you going to do with your man?
That's it. It's over.
You don't want this. You don't want what they're going through here.
But now it's making me wonder, if I did the right thing.
You need to call him and tell him it's done. You need to say, look, if you call me, let's be sure we're clear that we both know you're using me and you've put your interest ahead of my own. You got to put him on notice. You need to do it. You should call him from here before you leave. I'll give you your phone. I'll give you a place to sit, and you can call him. And leave here starting fresh.
I don't have his number because the phone number...
Of course you don't.
No, I'm telling you. He won't give me his cell phone number. It's the cell phone that I provided him so that he wouldn't get caught through his wife.
So now you're protecting him and helping him cheat.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, my goodness.
But, yeah, I'll call that number, and hopefully you'll get the voicemail.
You can at least leave the message.
Right.
You can at least leave the message. You don't have any intention of changing your relationship, do you?
Yes, I do. Yes, I do. This isn't what I want. I would like to have somebody. I don't want somebody full-time. I'm not ready to sacrifice my time with my kids right now, but I would like somebody that is mine.
Well, there's been a lot to talk about, a lot to think about here today. And I want to hear from y'all. I want to know what you've done with this. Don't you cheat yourself.
Right.
Don't do it. You're too good for that.
Next, find out what happened with the mistresses and their married men after the show. We now return to Inside the Mind of a Mistress.
I feel like we really drilled down today with the mistresses, but I wonder if after leaving my stage, anything really resonated with them. Let's see what happened once they left the studio.
When Dr. Phil said I'm better than that, I knew that, which is another reason why I've been putting that distance up with the married man.
Hi, it's my first day back from my Dr. Phil appearance, and It's been interesting. I did make a conscious decision to cut things off completely with my married man. So I did send him a text message. And I said, if you do care about what's best for me, then please let's permanently leave this alone so that I can be with a man who is fully available for me.
I know what my fault is. I know what it is. I know that I'm 100% responsible for my actions, and I understand that society and even me would say that my actions are wrong. I understand that, but I'm not a changed woman. I know that I'm either going to get my heart broken or I am going to find somebody that I want to give my time to. Right now, I haven't found him.
When Dr. Phil said that women that have affairs are selfish, only think about themselves and don't care about their kids, I can partially agree with that because I have put my children aside. When this affair started, I dropped them down a notch and put the married man above them. I feel that I've learned a lot since the Dr. Phil show, but I'm still stuck and haven't gotten completely to a point where I'm free of it.
I am excited to go from this day forward with my husband because when we walked off that set today, he looked at me like he hadn't looked at me in years. And I knew there was a little hope there that maybe we could make this work a little bit, that we'd both be on the same page going forward.
Hi, I'm just checking in. We've attended 4 counseling sessions, and we seem to be a lot better than we were before we were at the show. We're doing a lot of things together. We're talking, we're sharing. So things are looking up. It's a lot brighter picture than it was before we went on the show. So again, thank you. Thank you for all your help.
I want to thank all of my guests for being here today. If this topic strikes a chord with you or someone you know, I want to hear from you. You can go to drphil.com right now and tell me your story. And if you're watching today and you're a woman involved with a married man, you need to get out and get out now. I'm sure he's making you lots of promises, but trust me, you're probably being told exactly what you want to hear with no real future. And let's say he does leave his wife to be with you. Remember this, if he'll do it with you, he'll do it to you. I mean, come on, you don't want to be in a relationship that begins with deception, and every time you don't know where he is, every time you don't know what's going on, you're wondering, is he doing with someone else what he did with me? That is no way to live, and these relationships are doomed because they're based on a lack of trust. They're based on deception, and they are based on some fantasy that you know is not real. If you're in that situation, find the door. Get back to your life so you know that you have some future. We'll see you next time.
The main warning signs that a man might be married are things like him paying for dinners and drinks in cash. Look for things like him having 2 cell phones, meaning one number is just for his wife and one is for his secret life. Look for a mark on his wedding ring finger where perhaps he's wrenched it off just moments previously to talk to you at the bar or wherever you've met him. Note if he doesn't take your calls in the evening, or if you send him a text message and he doesn't get back to you, it's because he's at home with his family and can't answer. Note whether he calls you from places like the supermarket, the bathroom, the local store. These are places where he has escaped the family home to go out and call you his secret lover. If the man you are dating suddenly can't see you on the weekends and he refuses to make plans with you for more than a couple of days in advance, that means he's married. My main message to women out there who might fall for these things is to find a reason to go back to his place. If he won't take you home, there's a reason why.